you reign!
This is the D-Generation cliX podcast with your hosts.
Who is Ravage?
Ryan Ruffman.
Ravage.
Hand me that bottle cap.
Miles Kane.
Hand me that paper clip. Grab that twine. Gun wrapper.
Daniel Schwab.
We are
Best friend. Asgard to Mouth. And Pete.
'Cause I'm just me.
Welcome back to the D-Generation cliX podcast, and I'm your host, Ryan, and with me as always are Miles, Dan, and Pete. Miles, how are your holidays?
It was actually not good. Christmas Eve, I ended up with like 102 fever and was bedridden. So tried to do the Christmas morning things with the family, and then I just passed back out after like 2 hours. Finally feeling a lot better. What about Friday?
That's
So,
good.
but then, the weekend was trying to, recoup and everything, and then yesterday finding out that I became the super fan. Really stoked about that. So definitely the smile has returned. So I look forward to getting that prizing, the case of Massive Time. Let's see what I get. I'm hoping for some missing dinos that I need. But yeah.
Awesome, yeah. How have you felt the last 24 hours after getting that news?
Yeah, that was very unexpected. I know a lot of people were trying to say how I didn't see it coming, but I don't know. I guess I don't really think that I'm going to win stuff because I'm, don't really think of myself like that.
Oh, well, that's very humbling.
Hey, you missed all the shots you don't take, Miles.
But
I didn't feel like I needed to take a shot.
Sometimes you don't have to.
Dan, ending 2024 on a positive note, I hope. What's your last week been like?
Last week was pretty busy. I mean, jammed out like all of the Christmas stuff between. The funny part was I actually didn't do anything on Christmas because I had Friendsmas on Sunday and then other like Christmas related events on Monday, Tuesday, and so I was like Christmas out by actual Christmas Day. But now is every year before the first, I thoroughly like clean my home and make sure like everything's spotless because I want to go into the new year with just everything like what I mean, like everything gets organized, everything gets cleaned, or everything gets decluttered, stuff like that. So I'll pretty much go into the year with like a fresh start is the best way to put it.
Yeah, that's a nice, not a routine, what would you call that?
It's like an annual tradition. Basically.
Tradition, that's the word I was looking for. Okay. Yeah, not bad. And Pete, was this holiday everything you wanted it to be?
Yeah, holiday was good. Holiday was real good. We had Christmas at my mom and dad's, and so that was a fun day. We cooked for it and went up there and opened some presents and played some Christmas bingo. I didn't win anything, but we did play. Everybody else won a lot of stuff and enjoyed themselves, so that was good. That was real good. And spent last night watching the cliXs. I just want to give a shout out to Dial H for an amazing job, and congratulations to our own Miles Kane. Well-deserved honors, Mr. Kane. Well-deserved.
Thank you. Yes, the clixies were amazing for sure.
Yeah, it was fun. It was it like 2.5 hours, I think, that we were watching that together?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But, we also watched AEW, and, even though it ended in a whimper, it was actually pretty good at points as well.
I was only able to catch a few of the matches, but it looked like it was good.
Oh, and you got kid duty, I get it, so.
Yeah. We had a great Christmas, though. A little extra time to spend with the family, so that was really nice. We also got this card game called Taco, Cat, Goat, Cheese, Pizza.
Oh, have you never tried that?
No.
It's so much fun.
You played it?
It's so good. Yes, it's so simple, but it's so much fun.
Basically, each player has just a pile of cards, and you have to say the words in the title in order like as you flip. And if the picture of the word that was said, everyone has to hit the pile. And it was just something that we could all play. So the kids loved it, but it was a ton of fun. Have you guys heard
Yeah, it's
about
like a
that?
it's a slap game. Like you're trying to get your hand down real fast as soon as something hits. So
Yeah, and you can't flinch.
nope.
Peter Miles, have you heard of it?
No.
I have not.
No.
No.
Okay. This is the first I heard of it. We got it under the tree, so it was a lot of fun though.
So much
Um,
fun. Like stuff like that is great.
Then this week is going to be a little quieter too, with because the way that New Year's falls on Tuesday to Wednesday, because just this whole year or the end of the year is always just really crazy for us. So I cannot wait for January to start. But heading into news, we did have Pete announce or talk about us watching Dial H last night on the Clixies. We got to pop in real quick on Dial H's the Clixies last night and announce the giveaway. All you have to do was subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then we will be selecting one subscriber to receive an Iconics Wakanda Hulkbuster, Iconics First Appearance Spider-Man, and Iconics Beetlejuice, and then a brick of either Masters of Time, Black Panther, or Deadpool Weapon X. And then that's something that we'll be doing live on YouTube this week, so be on the lookout for that. And then we do have Pete with the Bookwood Report.
Bookwood Report!
Hello, friends. In honor of the end of 2024, Mr. Bookwood did participate in the Bookwood Report. And it was a little bit of a light week, but it was all impulse purchases off the shelf at our local gaming store. Out of
he
some
went hard.
Avengers 60th boosters, he got Super Rare King, he got Invincible Ant-Man the Prime, and the Chase Ghost Panther. He also picked up a map, which he did not include the name of. It just says this stuff also with a picture. So nice job, Bookwood. And the Eye of the Beholder. And then finally, at the last second, I was notified that he did also purchase Batman Team Up Sinestro for $2. That is a conscientious man there, filling both his hobbies and fiscal responsibility. I'd also like to add to the Bookwood Report, I don't know if Redmond played him, but I did. And his Batman got crit hit off the board by a Hatat Zarazi. Probably my favorite play of the day. So, once again, Wakanda forever.
Yeah, I did not
Redmond,
get
anything to add?
No, I did not get to play him on Monday. I'm hoping to be able to play Bookwood and stream that tomorrow, which would be Monday. So I know that your game went very well against him, so I was hoping that you were going to add that, or I was going to ask you about it. So congrats.
Yeah, he brought that starter Superman. That's the thing, because I saw it in action, and but the Wakandans overcame all odds to win that one.
I'll be back tomorrow too. So
I think we got a good group of people that'll be there tomorrow to play, so that'll be exciting. You didn't get a chance to play him though, did you, Dan?
I did not. No, I hardly ever match Bookwood, unfortunately. So
All right.
Maybe
I
this
think-
is your
I
week,
think-
Daniel.
I think I played you, I played Harris, and I played Rios. So that was what I think. Yeah, that was last week. And I got to watch Chaos King just chaos for Christmas. It's fantastic.
Oh, you get to play all three Ryans.
Yes. And I got to watch the infinite spawning parademons die for Darkseid round 2.
This episode is our first end of the year episode where we're kind of going to look back at the last year and a little bit forward to the next. We posted a bunch of questions on our Facebook page asking the community what they thought about a bunch of topics. So we're going to spend this episode kind of just going over the answers we got from those and talk about our own thoughts of the year and those questions. And with that, we have our first question. So, which is the best legacy card released in 2024? We had quite a few write-ins on this one. So we have Jasper Vincent Alantaga with Phantom X, James Yant Jr. with Hellcow, Austin Murray with Lightning Lad, Chase Diebert with Starro, Garrett Schnathorst with another Phantom X, Derek Benedict with a Ragman, which is very cool to see a vote for Ragman, Konstantin Savitsky with Starro, Dustin Kilby with a couple here with Starro, Seth, Odin, Tiamat, Weapon X. Now, Dan, I think you're the only one of us that's been able to actually play Odin, right? I know we saw him in Silver.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, I think he'll be popping up a little bit more in 2025. Has anyone been able to play Tiamat, though? He's actually really fun. He's just still a little overcosted.
He's still what 150, I think.
I think he's 150. Yeah, he can hit hard,
Yeah.
but that's when it's half your 300 build. It's just so hard to invest in him.
I think the biggest thing is just his mobility. I think he's still a boot guy, even though he's Dolphin. I think, but I think that's the only reason he's like mildly lacking is his cost, and then the fact that he's a 1x2 boot.
Oh, and then also I think his only pilot can be Deadpool.
Yeah.
So yeah, his pilots are pretty limited, but he is a fun piece. And then that Weapon X was pretty fun too when we played him in our monthly game. I think Pete yours came out a little prematurely though, didn't he? And then got smashed.
Yeah, because someone in this podcast talked somebody else into going into the area where they shouldn't have been into in order to get me to pop mine out literally one round early. He did some stuff though. He killed some things. It was
I just had the reach because I had OG Blackheart, so it's like, hey, I'm just gonna poof over here.
Yeah, it was definite table talk bullcrap shenanigans, but it's okay.
That's the best
Sorry.
part. And then we have Illuminati going for Black Panther, Sean Booty, Lightning Lad, Justin Nichols with Tim Hunter, McConnell Lamar with Black Panther, Richard Zetluko with Black Panther, Calder Ness with a vote for Hell Cow, and then Paul Cote with Starro, Aaron Young with Starro, Damian Matthew Berth with Seth, Mork Bird with Starro, Charles Constant with Starro, Edison Lee with the Chair Panther, Carl Harry Jr. with another Phantom X, Jason Phillips with Starro, and then Joe Gutierrez with Solaris, the Tyrant Son, Ben Gronhide with Hellcow, Dylan Kassenbaum with Ragman, Ryan Harris with Lightning Lad, Matty G with Starro, and then Stephen Bell with Professor X and Magneto. Now, Miles, were you trying to build with them?
What?
No, I just thought that they could do something interesting. I didn't really have a chance to build with them, but
I know when the Legacy card was still like released in the beginning, we were doing a little bit of theory crafting, but it just seemed like they were a little bit overcosted.
well,
And not
they
having
don't
leadership.
start with leadership.
Yep, that was the biggest thing. That's right.
That's why it's really hard for me to justify spending almost a third of my team on someone that should have leadership.
Yeah, if they had
Now I
traded,
gotta find another leadership.
right? If they had traded leadership, I definitely would have liked that card a lot more. It was a cool idea though. Ryan Bookwood with Black Panther due to Michael Keaton, Nico Taborda with Starro, Ricky Pregnano not knowing the assignment and voting for Daredevil and immediately getting corrected from his brother that it was last year. Wes Robertson with Throne Panther, and then Matthew with Vigilante, which I think we were just talking about now, Miles. You said he's pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, no, he's my pick. I was leaning with Lightning Lad, but unfortunately, Austin Plamodon, the dinosaur, I cannot agree with his take because they're usually bad. So I got to go a different route and go with Vigilante.
Oh, okay. Rounding that up is Jeremy Talernack with Black Panther, and then Peter Marshfield with Seth, and Andrew Coviello with Seth. I actually went with Solaris. I thought that he was a lot of fun to play. I played him in what was that? The Cosmic game?
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
It was
just
him and Starro.
him and Starro, yeah. Starro got Harris knew what I was trying to do with Starro, so he just kept knocking him down every time I tried to heal him up. So he did not perform that well. But Solaris,
That was hilarious to watch that happen.
Solaris at 75 though was just a ton of fun with 10 range and 2 bolts, seeing through the hindering, and then just being able to ping people as well as modify their defense, attack and defense -1. So yeah, really cool piece. This is one that I actually probably hope that there's going to be a robot team to build with, because that's usually a fun keyword to go with, but it has not been good since, man, was it when XDPS rotated out with the Danger Room construct? So. Yeah, it's not really been
right around there.
viable for quite a few years in Modern, but I'm hoping that between Solaris and Wolverine and LCD, there's something there.
Hey Pete, how much did you enjoy Solaris when he played that against us?
Oh man.
It was okay. I think I killed Solaris finally, but I had to sell out pretty good to do it. It got my Prime Q though right off the jump.
That felt so good.
I wasn't sure what was happening, but the rest of the team came through.
I was wondering.
Uh,
I was more or less wondering about that. I was like, I was wondering how salty you're gonna be about getting Prime Q just smoked off the board.
Oh yeah, just
eh,
vaporized. I hate that
it
piece.
happens. I know he does. So I know it's going to draw his attention. So I knew when he was near me, something was going to happen with it. But you know, I think Dark Phoenix ended up getting revenge for everybody.
Yeah,
So.
she did pretty good. We've played each other so many times that I think we just have pieces that if we could take them out, it feels that much better.
Yeah, this last month was a good example of leaving that stupid Gambit alone too long. I knew eventually it was going to bite me in the butt. I thought Gambit's coming at some point, and I've left him too long, and he's going to do something completely stupid with him.
I mean, but he was playing Minecraft for like a 45-minute span there. So what were you gonna do? Build
Yeah.
or bury into the mountain there?
Yeah, I mean, for everything that Gambit did to me, it felt so good to watch Madam Web get erased right off the board. So it comes and it goes.
Miles, what did you say you were voting for?
Vigilante, 100%.
Because of Austin's
think
pick?
especially. Well, no. It's like I do like Lightning Lad as like a butterfly call-in, but Vigilante has keywords I think that are better and can work on more teams. I mean, Pass I think is really getting up there with probably a top 5 keyword. He's marksman, so he can start with the trick arrows for free.
Mm-hmm.
He makes a free attack, maybe. So I think that he brings more to the table than Lightning Lad does.
Okay, because you're pretty high on Lightning Lad.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, Lightning Lad has been really good with me. I just prefer theme teams, and his keywords aren't great at all. It's Future, which Future isn't right there with Past right now, unfortunately, and then Legion of Superheroes, which is, that's probably the only keyword worse than that is probably Kryptonian at the moment.
All right. Dan, what did you pick?
Legacy Odin.
Okay.
It was hard. I really wanted Pluto to be a thing, but I think from what between Silver and even maybe in Modern, like Odin could actually be viable. So.
Did you go undefeated when you played him 2 weeks ago
I
or
did.
whenever that was? Yeah, okay. And he had good showings in Silver, so there's definitely something there with that Odin. I was trying to get him on the team, and I ended up. What did I do? I ditched for I think just Warrior, but I was trying really hard to make him work because he does look like a lot of fun. So it's good to know he's gonna perform.
I mean, him and Genesis are a fantastic combo in Silver.
Pete, what did you vote for, or what did you pick?
There was a great year for legacy cards, but I would have to go with Cher Panther, to be honest. I mean, I think with what's coming with Michael Keaton and just how viable and important the sideline is for a lot of teams and what they're doing and trying to do, I think it's a nice little natural counter to keeping some of the butterfly swaps you don't want to see come in. And so I think that that's a really, really important piece. So that's my pick.
And also, it's pretty cool when they actually take a figure that you already really liked and it instantly just slots right into the meta. So, super playable piece that you already really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and a great sculpt too. I mean, that's just an amazing sculpt. So.
Yeah, he was top choice, I think. Between him and the other one that you wanted to see was probably the Gauntlet Chase from, was that Secret Wars? Battle World?
Yes.
Yeah.
Battle World, yeah.
So this was
and we didn't. I didn't get that one, but I got a new version of it coming in the trove, so I'm pretty happy. I'm content at this point.
Sweet. The final count then for everything that got more than one vote was Ragman at 2, Lightning Lad at 3, Halcow at 3, Phantom X at 3, Seth with 4, Chair Panther getting 7, and then Starro at the top with 10 votes. So that was interesting to see. Miles, you want to bring us to most overrated pieces? Or, most overrated piece.
Yes. Gotta find it one real quick. There we go. Yes, we have the most overrated piece of 2024. We have quite a few, I think, solid picks. The one that's leading in that one I actually don't agree with, but we have Rob Peterson, which went on a huge tangent with Joe G as well as a few others. He went with Prime Swamp Thing. as well as Charles Constant went with Prime Swamp Thing. Wes Robinson went with Beetlejuice. McConnell also went Prime Swamp Thing. Calder went Diana. Matt Pagnato went Darkseid. Massive Time. Paul Cote went Shadow. Bill DeRoche, Diana. Joe G went Colossus Prime. Nick Ballou went with Super Sore. Jason Philippe, Ultra Humanite. I don't know. I'm guessing Corey decided to go with Beetlejuice with the Mike Keaton meme. As well as Barnstable, which that had a nice little tangent. Joseph Harrison went with Blue Beetle. Sean Budd went Supernova. Jay Solomon went Despero. Dylan Kiesbaum went Blue Beetle. Nico Taborda went with Prime Swamp Thing. Richard Zadikul went with Emit. Justin Nichols with Colossus Prime. Damian Matthew Berth went with Prince Kal-El. Constantine went with Flash Raptor. And then Ben Gronheid went with Supernova. And then the most mid of all mid-carders, Ethan Davis, who's actually a full-time rapper, part-time cashier, so you know he's just crappy. He says I am overrated and bad, which is quite ironic because I have receipts of him asking and pleading for him to play my teams because his team building sucks. So, yeah.
Well, he at least got the Dial H Superfan Award last night, right?
No. He failed at that.
What I heard.
Oh, who was it?
I did because one of the criteria is to be someone that's good at team building, and unfortunately, that's something that I don't think Ethan will ever be good at because he doesn't have any original idea, and if something's popular from somebody else, he thinks it's cool, and so that he just copies it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go into what you
I'm
picked
pretty
for
sure Shawn Michaels.
that one? Oh, what did you want to say?
Yeah, before that, though, was Prime Swamp Thing. I'm actually not quite sure I agree with that because I guess that's just because out here, the West Coast, just Oregon, and, you know, Oregon's, like, only behind Colorado and Meta. But was overplayed a lot with Prime Swamp Thing. So I'm not quite sure he is overrated. I realize that, you know, his price tag is high. I probably would have to say most overrated is I'd have to go with Prignano and just say Darkseid for silver specifically.
Okay. Yeah, I think the big thing with Prime Swamp Thing is the price tag because he's still sitting, I think, at about 200, isn't he? Or maybe
Somewhere in there.
185 now.
Yeah, I was gonna say 175 to 200. He's floating in that range right now.
Wow, I didn't realize he was still that high.
Oh, he's still high. Yeah, he hasn't ticked down at all. Any posts I've seen.
230, 240, 250, 200, 200. Yeah.
On eBay, yeah. You can get him a little
Yep.
cheaper on
Yeah.
Facebook, but yeah, he's still pretty high, and I think that's why he's not really performing amazing or like winning all the events. So I don't think anyone thinks he's worth that price tag right now, but he'll probably hold it. So I went with.
I mean, yeah. In all fairness, you know they're.
Oh, go ahead.
Silver, so.
Yeah.
I say in all fairness, it is silver that was going on, and you're not going to play him in silver.
Right.
No.
I went with the Ultra Humanite, the new Colossal. So many people talked him up about being this amazing piece. He's got a high price tag too, and he's just not great.
I'm going to counter that he's just better than you think.
I don't see anyone doing anything with him.
Yeah, I've been playing against him for months, but sure, you know.
What were you going to say, Miles? You were...
I'm the person that Dan's been playing against. No, he's... Ultra Humanite, I think, is... I don't think he's really worth his price tag, but I think that he's better than people give him credit for.
Well, I'm giving him no credit,
I don't think
so the bar's very low.
He should. Well, I guess as the only person to go undefeated with him, you know.
So my second place was definitely Supernova and that whole combo. So are you playing Ultra Humanite with the Supernova combo?
He's not.
Okay.
No.
Because he doesn't need that kind of pettiness, or that, well, not pettiness. He doesn't need that to win.
That's just trash. It's like, do you want to lose? And actually, it's a fun fact that you say about the Ultra Humanite and Supernova combo is that I was actually, when that first came out and everyone was talking about how good it was and we were trying to say how it wasn't, I was actually playtesting against somebody, and they were using it, and they kept trying to tell me, no, it's good, it's good. And that's Ethan Davis, somebody who just doesn't have an original idea and heard that it's supposed to be good, and so he played it. So,
Oof.
Things aren't looking good for Ethan.
no.
Dan, what was your most overrated piece?
John Constantine. All that hype about everybody was thinking that he was gonna be everywhere, and I don't even see him get called in on Butterfly that often.
Have you had to
Little
play
old
against him?
I've played against him once, and I shot him into a wall, so
Okay.
that was it.
I was actually very surprised by him. I did not play against him until I played Logan at Illinois State's, and he turned him into like an attacker, shut down my probs. He did really well with him, so he actually really surprised me, John Constantine. So that's definitely a piece that is on my radar now.
Oh, I know he's good. It was like the way people were talking him up, like he was gonna be everywhere, because it's like, hey, no probs, and I'm 50 points, and I do all this other stuff.
Well, I think people also don't like their probs being shut down, so that's probably
Yeah.
a reason why people aren't playing him.
No, that's what it is. I mean, you took a piece and it's great because your opponent can't do it, but now most of you can't do it either. And one of the most valuable powers in the game, I would argue, perplex and probability control. You affect the math with perplex, right? And probability control gives you a chance to either get hit or not get hit. So when you limit that down to just the one piece, that's a big commitment.
And then you have to throw him up there, and he's not the hardest piece to kill if you're not being smart with him. So
Right.
yeah.
No, because you can just park him in stealth, and he's super senses. He can place away. I mean, he's good. I just was thinking he was gonna be everywhere. So
Yeah, he definitely wasn't the force that everyone was thinking, or he wasn't in force like everyone thought he was going to be. Pete, what did you pick for your most overrated piece?
This is funny, and I think maybe Paul Cote put it out. I'm pretty sure in the comments of one of the other posts is like, it's so funny how many of these are on the underrated and overrated list.
Yeah.
So, man, I don't know. I've played against most of these pieces, and I think honestly, with what's in the meta and what's coming in the meta, I think Prime Swamp Thing is really just that's a hard price tag for a piece that's really, really subjective now. When it works, it's great. When you play it on the right team, the right matchup, but Michael Keaton causes huge problems for that whole team. Like, it's just, this is going to be one of those that I don't know it's going to get its time now because of what's come out behind it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with most overrated.
yeah, fair.
Yeah, I don't.
The final count for that then was 2 for Blue Beetle, 2 for Prime Colossus, 2 for Supernova, 2 for Diana, 3 for Beetlejuice, and then 4 for Prime Swamp Thing. So Prime Swamp Thing winning that one. I gotta say, I was low on Diana, but after I played against her at Red, White, and cliX, she definitely made teams a lot scarier. So I think she's gonna lead us into the most underrated piece. She was one of the pieces I was looking at. Dan, do you want to talk about the most underrated piece?
Yeah. So most underrated. So I'm starting with Joseph Harrison had King Jefferson. Um, they reference silver more specifically because you can do stuff with like the Carter Shield and that. Austin has Rare Supergirl from Masters of Time. El Waifu is Black Adam from, well, that one's from 2023, so because that's the rare from Notorious. James Yount has Elsa Bloodstone. I'm assuming that's the non-prime.
I would think so.
Justin Nichols is Super Rare Falcon and Red Wing. Nick Ballou is Prime Colonel Rhodes. Giordano Cielo is Beetlejuice. Garrett Schnauthorst has the Hellfire Gala Havoc and Iceman. Ben Groenheid has Wolverine Pool. William De Rocher has Zala Jor-El. And Marcus Romero Javier has, let's see, the Shuri Uncommon from the Black Panther set. Let's see. Dylan Castlebaum has Man Thing, the non-prime super rare. Shocker, considering he just won with him. Nico Taborda has Aquanix. Miles, man, they're just like right there for you. Aaron Morgan has Beast Boy T-Rex, so that's the 2x2. Constantine has Diana the 059 Chase. Carl Harry Jr. has the DWX Forge.
I get it. I know. Yeah.
Ken Small is Weapon X Chase. Jeremy Talaronic has the Chase Harley, the Bardley Quinn. Damian Bertha has Mr. Immortal. Aaron Young has the Dinosaur Hatchling. Jason Philippe has the Rare Supergirl from Masters of Time. Ryan Bookwood has Phoenix Wolverine. Let's see. Eric Adams has the Weapon X Chase. Wes Robertson also has Wolverine Pool. Charles Constant has the Supergirl from Masters of Time. Mork Bird has the Shadu from, is that also Masters of Time? Yeah, because he's saying it's solid trick arrow holder. McConnell has the Master of Time Robin Rare. Nicole Rivera has Jeff the Land Shark. I'm assuming she means the one that you get when you play Deadpool and Elsa, or you just play him.
He's not underrated around here. We
No,
play him
no.
a ton. He's done work around here.
He just killed Doomsday like a month and a half ago. Calderness has Steve, the Chase from Next Phase. Let's see. Matthew Prignano has the non-prime Swamp Thing. I don't know if I'd call that underrated, but you know. Rob Peterson has the Wolverine or Albert and LCD. Jay Solomon has the Chase She-Hulk. I'm guessing it's the one coming through the TV.
I think so.
Let's see. Anthony Barthay will come in with Despero. And Joe Galtieri has the Prime Blue Beetle. Paul Cote has Poison Ivy, which is the Iconics one. And yeah, so pretty solid choices. I mean, there's a lot of variety, which I like. So our top three were Supergirl had 3 votes for Master of Time, then 2 for Chase Weapon X, and 2 for Chase She-Hulk.
What was your most underrated piece of 2024?
I'm gonna go with King Arthur.
Okay. Yeah, he saw play, I think, when he first came out at Rock Cup was when I think he was starting to pick up a little steam, and then he went through, I think, halfway through summer, and then I stopped seeing him, but he was really good. I think he caught a lot of people off guard, but he just disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly with the change, if Michael Keaton stays as is for right now, he might see more play because he doesn't really do anything for free. He just hits like a truck and has a lot of good powers. So
yeah. I went with Wolverine and LCD. I got to play them for our robot game, and they were a ton of fun, especially if you're playing silver rules with the Mandarin rings, giving them things with more single D6 rolls. But that was, I think, one that is on no one's radar right now. That's just a ton of fun to play and really good, that free pulse wave. And then I did have a couple of runners up. The Weapon X Chase also, very, very cool. I think there's some potential there. People are sleeping on that one. And like I was saying before, Diana, I saw Diana get played with the Hell Cycle to give her hypersonic so she can get that long distance attack off. And I think that's where it's at. And she is a potential right there with that combo too.
Wait, and who said that she was good when she was previewed again?
Dan, you say a lot of things are good.
Yeah, but I can usually back that up.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, you can eat crow for the rest of the evening.
Miles, what did you pick as your most underrated piece?
So my runner-up is Man-Think. I just couldn't say he's the most because he won Worlds and he was just played a ton. But I actually think that Green Torch is probably one of the most, for me, it's my the most underrated. Everyone talks about the dinosaurs that can potentially be good. You have Aquanix with his Herald, so you give him a free gun. Flash Raptor with his absorbent, price tag. Ultra Humanite, Beast Boys with Trick from coming in from the sideline with the other Beast Boy. But Green Torch, being able to equip him, I think is just insane. He has just very generic keywords in Green Lantern Corps, Justice League and Past. Justice League and Past, I think, are still two top keywords now. And I think you just play him at 100 or 150, and he's gonna put in work for you with his long dial, and because Charge Flurry's huge, and you give him the broadsword for free, so now he has blades, and so now you have Ares on the sideline, so you pull that off, and if you're on Atlantis map. Now you can do Quake is free, so now you're able to do not only Ares, but then you can also do the Poseidon follow-up. And then, you're also able to make a regular third attack. So, yeah, he puts in work. I used him for our sealed at Team Worlds, and he did not disappoint.
Yeah, I think he's probably my favorite of all the dinosaurs, honestly. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the Lantern Legacy set brings for him. Hopefully there's some kind of something to put on him.
Yeah.
All right, Pete, this was a bigger one. So this one is overall thoughts on Silver Age, like the ban list, restricted list, and all that.
Go ahead and get him my underrated.
Wait, I was like, where's his underrated?
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. Go ahead with your underrated.
That's okay. Well, it's hard to call something underrated when it's fetching prices of $200 plus on eBay, but and other places. But I think Hadari Yao is going to be a thing. I think it's going to be the Hadari year. You heard it here first. When her sculpt is not making her fall over and giving you heart palpitations, she just does so much at both point lines. And that damage of power to just assign damage, essentially everybody gets 3, is just wild, even without pulse wave. So I think that's pretty. I think she's great. I'm going to call her underrated for now, but I think you're going to see her pick up pretty good, even in the Michael Keaton verse here. So
I think, yeah, for her, it's just a case of not enough events are happening right now to see her win or get played, and then she's going to be even crazier once that universal weapon comes out, and she's just pulse waving everybody.
I mean, the thing, yeah, like for she just came out and it was mid-silver season, so like we had people that were probably playtesting with it but might not have gotten to field her yet, and then we don't have modern until this next month. It'll start to pick up again, but.
So I got a player in the monthly and wasn't completely understanding the damage power and got a better clarification on Monday night, and it's just wild. You just hit targets and you're like, okay, that one can take this much damage, and the rest of you can just take 3.
Yep.
Yeah, they have to be hit targets, but
yeah. It felt pretty dirty when it happened. So,
well, I think of it like it's better. It's a better version of not like energy explosion, but like it's just as long as you're hitting people, you're just assigning extra damage, which is, I mean, it's really good.
Well, it's what thematically the character is. I mean, it's Storm, so she's just calling down lightning strikes wherever she wants. So, so I just think there's a lot with that piece, and that's even without all the divine favor stuff and all that. So,
yeah, definitely the best Storm we've gotten in years.
Agreed.
All right, so Pete, the overall thoughts on Silver.
Yeah, this was an interesting one. There were 21 comments, and I would say overwhelmingly positive. Austin said that Silver's fantastic and State was so much fun. Everything worked out well, and Aaron did everything he could, and that was amazing. Joe G said Silver's great. The responsiveness of Aaron Morgan to issues makes Silver feel like a real game run by people who want a healthy environment. The biggest issue still with it, in my opinion, is the stupid Watcher Stario issue. I know that's being examined. McConnell Lamar, nicest dude in HeroClix. Somebody hook him up with a Mephisto. I love Silver Age. The responsiveness of those that are running it, the creativeness of the teams, and the fact that it allows so many older figures to be played. I believe most, if not all, the problematic things are being looked at, and I can't wait to see where it ends up. Peter Marshfield had a pretty decently long post, so bear with me here. Silver Age is steadily getting to the point of what Silver Age has been created for, or rather the design of being able to play larger point-costed figures, as well as adding value to my older collection. I think the 10 ban list is still solid. It helps add value to the format by not having an oops focused on modern build. Let's consider the fact that a year ago, meta was Genesis APOC and then X-Men. Now that Genesis APOC aren't on the list, they're not even remotely running the format. So I like the philosophy for the 10 ban list, just hoping that Prime Spidey does eventually come off the list as well. His only complaint was that the restricted list is Carnage, Silver Surfer, and Necron. I feel like the other pieces on the build encourage build variety and boost the builds. Now that being said, I'm not saying they should be able to be played multiple, so possibly moving to a Highlander restriction and have restricted list. I also think Ellie Saturnine deserves her spot on that list, and Legacy Jennifer Kale too. Anthony Barnstable. I don't know if I like the mix of big and small maps, maybe only one or the other. I want to see the restricted list be longer. 100% agree with that.
Yes.
I wanted to see the permanently banned list be shorter. And I want to see the temporary ban list longer with a clear timeline of how long it is temporarily banned before it is reassessed. Mark Bird. all-around fan of everything silver is more its own thing now, and its build rules, bans, and restrictions make for a really healthy game state. Pieces will get their time on the podium before being ban restricted, and that's okay. Sean Beauty said, it was very much hurt in play in attendance by WizKids demanding final say on format decisions rather than Aaron Morgan being able to make those calls in a timely fashion. Me and many others were disappointed. This flawed version of the format replacing all Modern States event this year, and absolutely look forward to Modern States next year and possibly Silver if WizKids actually lets Aaron do the work he's trying to do. Attendance at my states would have been doubled if it was modern and the format had proper timely decisions made final. Super disappointing overall, and people flexing weird builds making top cut at events where attendance was barely more than the top cut in the first place didn't help, because I love celebrating weird builds and top cuts that actually had to win to get there. It hurts even more that it all happened at a moment that Modern was at one of the most balanced places it has been since I started playing against a few years ago. If Silver changed hands from WizKids to Aaron, I'd be all for it. Otherwise, I'd much rather just it be kept Modern. I think this season hurt the game more than helped, truthfully. I totally recognize that most of these comments enjoyed it, and I love that for them, but I know so many people that didn't enjoy it that wouldn't comment on this at all, so I'm doing the bummer comment for them all. I wanted this to be a great format, but as long as WizKids gets in the way of Aaron's decisions, it'll always be an uphill battle for him, and by extension for the community as a whole. It is so close, but so far structurally. The ban and restricted lists are great, it just needs unfettered access by the format organizer. Ryan Bookwood.
Wait,
try hard.
Going back to that last statement though, I don't even think that is that negative. You know, there's a lot of truth to that statement. Everything that he said.
I would 100% agree with that. I didn't think it was negative at all. I think the only negative thing is he's saying that people didn't enjoy it. Sure, but he was giving constructive feedback.
Yeah.
It's not like I didn't enjoy it, my friends didn't enjoy it, I hate it, screw you, screw everything. Like, it's actually constructive feedback and things that when you have when you're trying to accomplish what Aaron's trying to do with Silver, that's the biggest format in HeroClix. It's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to put himself in that position by choice and take on that burden, for the rest of us to have a hobby and make our hobby that we love better, is to be commended. And I think that, honestly, Sean, I would disagree. I don't think this is a negative post at all. I think you're saying that what other people probably felt, and good for you for being able to post it.
And honestly, I think one of the most important lines is attendance at my states would have been doubled if it was modern or the format had properly timely decisions made final. That is, I think, my biggest complaint, was that things like Dark Side, nothing ever got set. You know, it was all kind of just there. One of the best things that happened during Silver was after a couple weeks when mission points were gone and they got rid of pieces that you could mind control, like friendly characters. Those very quick, timely decisions helped make the rest of states so much better. And if that would have been done with a couple more modern issues, I think it would have been totally fine.
And that is where the distinction lies, is that those pieces were Silver, and unfortunately like we know, is that anything modern it's not. You
Not
have
as
more
easy.
people that have to. Yeah, you have more people that have to okay it than just Aaron.
Okay, Pete, back to Ryan Bookwood, our local tryhard.
Back to the impromptu Bookwood report. Brian Bookwood says it's on its way. I think it would definitely benefit from being Highlander format. Rob Peterson, no relation. Though I didn't play in any, I helped my players playtest their team some. I think I'm in love with the current state of Silver Age, though things still need to be tightened up a little bit with some of the bigger problems. Thomas, I'm not going to say that right. Benaji? Sure. Silver is great! Exclamation point. Love seeing the diverse strategies and people finding crazy combos with their old new pieces alike. Excited for the future! Explanation point. Jason Calfee says, I love Silver, got me into playing competitive this year. Fun format and a ton of build options. Charles Constant, Silver was a lot of fun. Love being able to play some of my old favorites in a competitive setting. Can't wait till next year. Damian Matthew Birth, hated it. I did okay, but still hated it. Scott, pieces should be banned. Saturnine should be unique. Jason Phillips says it was an amazing play experience to use my older figures, new and old ideas brought to the table. Honestly boils down to seeing my friends during states. They all had fantastic builds and even better attitudes. There's a great point. Good attitudes.
Yes.
Konstantin Savitsky loved the Silver States. Temp ban list is great because it gives those figures a break from the tourney scene. I love seeing older banned figures coming back. Restricted list is good. Not sure if Standard 9 fits on it, though.
She does.
Yeah, she does. She does.
She's
She's
got
never
a-
intended to be played that way.
She's got a nice place with her name
And-
on it, hopefully.
And people
Yeah.
did it in Modern towards the end. I think there was a couple teams that I remember at Worlds the one year before she rotated that were like, hey, I've got 2 or 3 Saturn on my team, and it was just as annoying. But you just have less to work with on a 300-point team.
Yeah, even better in 400. All right, what did
Carl.
you... Oh, wait, sorry, was that
No,
all
we
of
still
them?
got.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
got more. Carl Harry Jr. says, as a new player, I didn't realize what some of the older rotated pieces could do, or some of the equipment available. I hadn't played much more than 300 points, so 400 felt like a lot to keep track of. And I feel like I had less turns because opponents had 5 actions and so much more going on. I don't dislike it, just hope it stays similar for a long period of time so I can get used to it. That's a good point, because it's back when we started the podcast, Aaron was the first guest. And it was helped get me up to speed on silver. And this was always the thing I said to Redmond. We would go play at other places. I would play 400, and I'd be like, dude, I just forget the people have 5 and 6 actions. Like, I just forget it because I'm not used to it. So if you hang in there, man, it will get better. 100%. I think consistency is the key. Dustin Kilby says Silver Age has become even better than before. My only real gripe is that there needs to be a way to make semi-troublesome figures unique that shouldn't have been originally and aren't currently, rather than added to the restricted list. This also goes for Modern Age as well. Game designers need to make more figures unique going forward. Michael Donich says restricted list is one of the best things ever added to the game. Temp ban list having all the 60th chases felt really bad. Is Hound on his own that much of a problem? Hound is never a problem. Ben Groenheid would add more stuff to both. Most mission point teams wouldn't be broken if all of them were on the restricted list. Matt Pragnano of the Flying Pragnanos says some things are still broken, i.e. Saturnine, but overall I think it's a lot of fun. And Anthony Barnstable, appearing I think for the second time in this says I want to see 400 points either be a minimum 70 minutes or see the point total lowered. Whew, that was a lot, boys.
That was a good job, Pete, I would say.
Yeah,
Thanks.
solid work there.
What do you think about Anthony Barnstable's last point there, that I want to see 400 points either be a minimum 70 minutes or the point total lowered?
I really like the 400 points, to be honest. I don't know if the game needs to go longer or not. I feel like the hour, like 45 minutes to an hour, is pretty good. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't really know, because I like the 400 point like total, because even 200 points of silver floor is really solid. I don't know how 300 would play like that.
I think it's reasonable to request 60 to 70 minutes.
Yeah.
Have it fall between that time at judge's discretion.
The biggest
Yeah, that's
thing,
fair.
the biggest thing is when you're trying to get an event in from like open to close at a store's hours, that gets a little challenging
Yeah.
when it's over 60. I think if you're just pushing maybe that 60 minute, and then just making sure that you're timely with your rounds, that's maybe doable. But like even for the 300 modern event that we're doing in, what is that, February? We're starting at registration at 9. So that we aren't going to be there till close.
Okay, so you two played at our event in silver. Did you feel like the rounds were too short?
I don't think I felt any single round was short at all. I have not felt shorted in any rounds that I've played. Really, except or since Worlds, there's a couple of really short rounds. But I think every event that I've done since that has really, for the most part, been really good.
I want your feedback really quick, because as a judge, and I know what I scheduled the rounds to be, I can at least try to say, hey, this is where I sat it. So.
No, even at 400, I thought that they were all good. Yeah, I didn't think any of them went too short.
Pete?
No, I thought it was fine. I didn't have
cool.
one game where I felt like I didn't get turns. That comes down to the players, I think, more than anything.
Okay, because I scheduled the rounds for pretty much, it was 45 to 50, and I didn't push 50 very often because I was trying to keep us moving. Because, again, we had, 5 rounds of Swiss, we cut to top 8, and then we had 4 more rounds.
So honestly, if you kept it more 45 to 50 minutes, then I would say that that's a testament to our players that nobody was bullshitting around and they were playing the game, because we got enough rounds in, I think, pretty much every game that we played. thought they felt
I
good.
don't recall anybody at our event claiming anybody slow played.
Okay, so that was
And
I was just
we have some deliberate players that play with us. We have some people that are very deliberate. And so, not slow. There's a difference. There's 100% a difference. And if you played with these guys over and over again, you understand that's the game you're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're very calculated in what they do. But I didn't think it was. I think honestly the biggest key to our event was the in between rounds to get a chance to set up.
Yes, that's huge.
Especially in a format like Silver where you have so many moving parts. So just like sitting down and getting all your stuff out and being ready to go lets you kind of look across the table and figure out what you're doing.
And that helps speed it up too, yeah. That's a good point. Miles, you judged Portland States, or Oregon States, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your take on this, either the 400 points being lowered or minimum of 70 minutes?
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. I mean, everybody didn't complain about it. But like you said, there's players that play deliberate, and I think that's the entire point where it was at. I didn't feel like the amount of time that I was giving them, because I gave them the minimum of 50 minutes. So minimum of 50. So it's 55 plus 5 or minus 5. So sometimes we had hour-long games. And everybody, I think, had more than enough time to play the game. I don't think there was a game where there was less than 7 turns in that time frame.
Which is awesome, yeah, for 400 points.
So, yeah.
And the other thing
I think if people are there to play, that will happen.
Well, and the other thing too is Silver is going to be your more experienced players, right?
For the most part.
So you're going to be having a group that understands things a little more than what you could see in, like, obviously a sealed or battle royal environment, or even 300 modern. 300 modern will bring new players in. I mean, we had one guy at our tournament that said that was his first competitive thing, was this Silver tournament. But he had played for a while. This was just his first foray into competitive.
So, Pete, what was your take on Silver?
I had a terrible Silver season.
You did, actually.
I think I had a grand total of 3 wins between 2 tournaments, and I got pants by Beetlejuice coming into Silver. I was not prepared for that piece at all, and so I got a real good experience of, like Darkseid I played against, Beetlejuice I played against. But I still enjoyed myself. I still loved putting out pieces I wanted to play with back on the board. I just wasn't ready for what that piece was going to do to me. I think the Darkseid build was my screw up. I didn't include either the WWE ring, or I didn't include the one piece of like terrain that would have saved me from what he was going to do. And I knew what he was going to do. I screwed up by not having the right stuff. I was so focused on what I was trying to do against him that I just forgot the simplest thing to take care of it. Beetlejuice completely 100% eradicated my team. Like, I could not do anything. And so that was my thing. So to answer the question much simpler, I did not have a great Silver season. My dice were atrocious, but I still had a blast at every event I went to.
Was it regret this season not playing Teen Titans?
Dude, if my Raven would have got here, I would have played Teen Titans. You know that. I was ready to go. Once you told me about it,
yeah.
I was immediately
That
back on the Double Kong bandwagon.
And the only reason you didn't get to play it is because we broke my number 1 rule of have one of at least everything, and none of us had that piece. We tried.
Yeah. If the question is if Pete can throw 2 monkeys or 2 apes across the board on an alpha strike, that's happening every time he can do it. So yeah, that was a huge regret for me.
I feel like that's more of
Yes.
can Pete throw any two really amazing offensive pieces across the board.
Oh
Pete's
yeah,
to do it.
yeah. That's because then that's just my style of game. Like, here it is. I've attacked you. I've done this. Now the pressure's on you to do something against me. So that's the goal, right? The goal is to take an early lead and see what happens.
I thought Silver was great this year. The ban list was fine. I definitely missed my all black, but I didn't really feel like anything on the ban list was terrible. That's not the bench list, of course. I'm looking forward to, I think, pretty much everything on the bench list coming back. The Masters of Evil swap and Prime Spidey, all that stuff. The restricted list, though, that was an amazing addition that really helped Silver. I just wish more pieces were on it. I know we already listed a few, like Saturnine. She definitely needs to be on there. And I think after seeing some of the other stuff get played, there's a couple other names that should definitely go on there, like the Prize Apocalypse for sure. I think would be another good one.
Yeah, Apocalypse Worm shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah. But Silver Age elements were addressed so fast and really saved the following weeks from what could have been negative play experiences. I just want to see some of the modern stuff addressed faster, kind of like what we were talking about before. I understand that there's added hoops to jump through, but Darkseid really should have been addressed earlier, and Beetlejuice kind of killed the last few weeks. So, just because things aren't winning doesn't mean it's healthy for the actual game or the state of the game. But
We've said it, and I'll say it again. The biggest problems in Silver were modern elements. And so until WizKids allows Aaron to be proactive in that format with modern elements, they're going to continue to cause more issues.
yeah.
And lead to a state where people don't want to do it.
Yeah, because Aaron's going to be surgical about it. I don't think he's ever, like, anything he's proposing, and if whether it changes the piece in modern as well or not, is, like, they're going to be, like, they've shown that they can be, like, whether it's Aaron trying to do something, or like we've seen errata in the past, like I'd say in the last like year, that have been very surgical. I would say Blackheart excluded, but that showed the piece is still good. Everybody thought Kong was dead, and he's still a great piece. Like he's not near less deadly than he already is, or he was before.
What I personally really fail to understand, and maybe somebody can answer this question for me. If Silver's its own format, why can't there be Silver-specific rulings on pieces?
I'm just guessing for consistency's sake that they just want it to be like, this is the errata. It accompanies all all formats.
WizKids format, yeah, they want everything to be consistent.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
There were definitely things you could have done to Darkseid though to not affect him in modern at all and fix them for Silver.
Yeah, but that's on WizKids to be more, not necessarily reactive, but just like quicker on the draw to get back out there and go, hey, yeah, we know this is a problem. Obviously, especially with units now having so much data at your fingertips to go, hey, cool, what was the problem?
Yeah.
You can see that a lot faster, which is good, and that means that gives you informed decision making at a much quicker pace than before. I think that's the biggest thing is like, with the amount of information that WizKids should have access to, and I'm sure if they needed something better, I don't know, just like numbers, they have a person that could pull it together and make it into like a nice whatever PowerPoint or however you want it displayed to show, hey, here's the things, and here's what we could see that's problematic together, and then you can go and you can be like, all right, well this is how we're gonna fix this. This is how we're gonna fix this. That's all they need to do. So you have now especially all the information at your fingertips, and you can change things accordingly a lot quicker because of the information. So I don't see why they shouldn't be able to go ahead and go, okay, we need to fix this.
What were your overall thoughts on Silver though, Dan?
Mine?
Yes.
Well, okay, I mean, I judged ours, and I really loved watching Silver, and I got to play in a Silver event for our Chase Booster, and I really loved it. It was fun to play old stuff together with new stuff. I love all the parts of Silver, being able to play like my entire collection. I don't have like a collection that spans like too far back, but it does span to about Mighty Thorish somewhere in there. So it's cool to be able to play stuff like that and have it be all played together. And the team builds I got to see just at our event, let alone everything we went over week to week, was awesome.
Right.
Like yes, there was the same like cookie cutter builds, but at the same time there was so much creativity and different wacky combos that you're like, didn't see that coming, but it was really nice. That is the best part that I love about HeroClix is like the what's it called? Like it's the opposite of like net decking. It's not the what's the most optimized thing I can do? It's what weird strategy did I not see that someone caught? That's just, it's not like game breaking, but it's just something you don't expect because there's such a wide variety. It's the like plethora of options that Silver provides that I think is the most fun because for me like variety is the spice and I love it.
Mm-hmm. Miles, what about you? Overall thoughts on Silver Age?
No, I mean, I carry the exact same sentiment as you guys. I think that you said the biggest problems are the modern game elements. Uh, Beetlejuice especially, like, that's rough because Silver's the entire point of Silver is trying to get these combos in with free actions and then saying, "Oh, I'll make it impossible for my opponent to play the game." And yeah, I know you can build around it, but like that takes the fun out of Silver and the fun out of team building period when you have to build around a figure that doesn't let you play pieces that are on the fringe or fun. But yeah, him and Darkseid were the only two real problems, and like you said, you don't have to. A figure doesn't have to win an event to show how problematic it is.
Right.
And I think those two pieces are very, very telling of two pieces that could have ruined Silver.
And
Luckily, there was a figure like Butterfly that everyone thinks is a problem, but without a figure like Butterfly, Silver would have been a horrible experience for 99% of people.
Yeah.
And there was other combos that people found that were like, "Hey, this works." Played against Darkseid.
Yeah.
And he didn't win as much
Yeah.
as people thought he was going to. He placed, but he did not win nearly as much. People counter-built him,
Oh,
so
you
there
can
was
also
that.
look at players too. Is the normal you have your players, especially with HC units being all the team builder that much available, and so you saw a lot more copy paste, and so you're going to see well-known players that place consistently. They're going to be playing that top team, and then you're going to have the lesser players that you've never really seen before or heard of before, and that's actually going to hurt the figures winning because they're going to be playing the team that they're not really strong, and so that's also going to the chances of actually being able to read properly how much a figure impacted it when you're going off of wins and losses, because you're going to have, for every two players that you have play the team to perfection winning states, you're going to have another 7-8 players that are not going to really be playing it right because they're not good players, and so that's going to skew the numbers.
Yeah, a little bit for sure. All right, going into our next question is: do you like
Pizza.
do you like the floor requirement for Silver? So this one was a landslide. We had 67 votes. 90% of them said yes, I like having half the build needing to be non-modern, and only 10% saying that they do not like the restriction. As far as comments go for this one, honestly, Anthony Barnstable, honestly, I would be even happier with it being all modern game elements are banned. If we have to keep modern, I am happier with the floor instead of no floor. I think it could be interesting with no modern game elements being allowed on the sideline. I think that that's a cool idea. I just don't know how feasible that would be, though. Making everyone not play anything that's modern, because there's still new players. There's one thing to borrow 200 points, but borrowing 400 points of items is going to be a little bit more challenging. What do you guys think about that?
It'd be nice to see it though. Just do you like that? And I see exactly where your argument comes into play, but then where my argument comes into play is the fact that I got back into cliX in 2021. Silver was becoming a thing, and so I specifically went and bought out pieces that were silver figures. And silver figures are even the higher rated figures are a lot more affordable than trying to purchase modern. So,
Oh yeah,
I think it's more feasible than we think, but I understand not wanting to skew away new players. But it would definitely be fun to see that ran somewhere with a good amount of people to see how Silver would be without any modern game elements.
Yeah, I like the idea. I just think it's going to be really hard to get a successful event for that. And then we have Konstantin Savitsky. The floor is great. Will make winning teams different from modern. McConnell Lamar. I've seen that some are not happy with the exception for one modern age element being allowed to break this restriction, but I'm fine with it as long as any overly oppressive elements are looked at and addressed. and then Joe Gutierrez with no floor requirement due to power creep. We all know builds would be closer to 350 points of modern. I'm agnostic about the single modern element exception. So yeah, 90% of people like the floor requirement. I personally like the floor. I think it's great. It just does allow for more unique builds, because I think the first year of Silver, for the majority, it was really just modern with retail, right?
Yeah. And there was plenty of builds where people cheated on modern, like to basically make the whole team modern anyway. So it really didn't change all that much. And I think the floor is much better. Yeah.
What about you, Miles? What about you with the floor?
No, you need the floor. I mean, Joe was 100% right. That it's exactly how it would be. It'd be 350 points in modern with 50 points of equipment.
Yeah.
Or retail, like Ryan
there's
said.
no way. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Maybe it'd be at 325 because you want to get a porter on there. But yeah, that's all it would be, and it would be so boring. It'd be the same thing as the first season of Silver. That was just, it was 300 points of modern.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Pete, do you like the floor?
I think you have to have it. I just think you have to have it.
But
If
do you
not,
like
it's...
it?
Yeah, oh yeah. I do. I don't think there's anything as far as the build that I have a problem with Silver. I think 400 points is fine. I think allowing, the modern elements that you can have are fine, but I think there has to be the floor.
What about you, Dan?
I love the floor. I mean, this is a legacy format. That's why it exists, right? So in order to keep it that, the floor needs to be there. But not only that, it shows that like these older pieces that aren't modern are still just as viable now, if not even more. So shifting into Silver. So
Yeah, it needs to feel different, and that's what the floor does, is what it boils down to.
yeah, exactly. And I want it's a different format. I want it to feel different. I don't want it to play the same as 300 modern constructed.
All right, Miles, our next one. Should Silver be Highlander?
Yes. This one was actually a lot more contentious than I was expecting.
Same.
We had 43% say yes and 57% saying no. And going through the comments, I'm guessing actually it'd be more of a landslide towards yes if we were, I guess, if we leaned more into some things. Like Rob Peterson, for instance, the only reason he said no is because he likes to play things like the man. And then McConnell prefers to not be Highlander. There's only a few things, Saturnine, Iconics Roses for Red, etc. Just address those, and then without making the format Highlander. Garrett, I would be willing to give it a shot. I would allow pieces like Maggot. It would allow pieces like Maggot and CSS to come off the restricted list and address Saturnine Grand Prize A. The only concern that bothers me is for figures that are meant to be played multiples, goons, multiple mans, XDPS, and so on. I wonder if it's possible to institute a Highlander for everything except Kerr, but I feel that might get odd. Bill Doverche, he would have voted yes.
Real quick, do you think that Maggot could come off the restricted list if it was Highlander?
Yes.
Okay, I agree. Go ahead.
Yeah, because his whole thing was being played in multiples. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, 100%. Bill DeRoche said he's voted yes if there was a stipulation for specific figures designed to be played in multiples. Anthony Barnstable says the problem with Highlander is making sure it doesn't screw over figures like Flash, Loki, Cable, and generics. Carl Harry Jr. said yes, but it'd be fine if everything was Highlander aside from generics and others that let you generate copies. Eric Adams says all competitive HeroClix should be Highlander. You can put traits on the cards that allow for multiples of certain characters. Ben Gronhide says he thinks theme would be the best way to help rein in the format. Also helps players narrow down the pool of figures to build from significantly. Jason Calfee says it should be Highlander, but therefore exceptions for generics and characters. Matty G says to a certain extent. There it goes. Accidentally clicked off of it. To a certain extent, not generics or the Wonder Woman 80 Flash. And Michael, how did you say that? Donick Okay, Donick. Okay, I wouldn't mind every format being Highlander outside the generic figures with a various real name. I think a lot of these no's and with them would be yes if it was for specific characters. There's going to be characters that are meant to be played in multiples, which I think would be completely fine. And obviously, you'd have a list of them, which would be the super rare Flash. You'd also have that War of the Realms Loki, the JLU Doctor Fate, figures like that. I think would obviously be the exception to the rule of Highlander, but you'd be able to put that in a list.
Yeah, totally.
So
agree.
if that was happening, I think that it should move to be Highlander would be exponentially higher, for sure.
And we're actually
I'm all for Highlander.
That thing that Michael Donick actually mentioned at the end, that's something that we're actually going to institute into our monthly games starting in January, where we are putting a point cost on 30 points, but that if it's a generic figure with a various real name, then you can play multiples of it, because that'll let you play the goons and stuff like that. So I like that idea also.
Yeah.
Is it under or over 30? I can't remember.
I don't remember how I worded it, but it'll be 30 and I think 30 and lower or something like that. But it'll be 30 points and lower.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 30 points or less. They don't. Yeah, half cost. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with all of them. There's not. That's exactly how Highlander should be, and there's obviously going to be figures that are the exception to the rule. But it's on their card, and so it clearly states that you can play them in multiples.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard to separate the ones you should be able to do that with.
Yeah.
But yeah, just at first glance, the results really surprised me because I really wanted to see it move to Highlander. But I think realistically, if you make those exceptions for pieces like everyone mentioned, that it's definitely the way to go.
Because that's why they said they voted for no.
Yeah. Dan, what did you say? You said Highlander?
I mean, I think Highlander's like tricky, right? Because I was surprised that it was that contentious. I thought it would lean either like one way or the other. So I was really surprised that it was that close. 57 to 40 was that 50, right, or 53 to 47? Like that's a really tight margin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you start looking at the comments, then you see why it was that close. Because that really surprised me actually.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of nice because at least it seems like people are like more amicable toward it than I initially thought. I thought it would be such a like I don't know, like a poison pill of just people be like, oh my god, no, never gonna do it. For how many things in modern we see where they just end up playing in multiples because you're like, well, this is just better. So that was to me that was the biggest takeaway. I was like, oh, more people actually like this than I initially thought.
What was your personal opinion on it? Do you think that Silver should be Highlander?
I mean, it could be. I think it would just have to be like you said. There'd have to be tweaks to stuff with like the restricted list. Mainly, I think Maggot's the big one. I don't know I guess like CSS too, because maybe just because like you can only play one of them, so it won't really matter because you can't play two of them anymore like they used to. So I guess like stuff like that, and then obviously making the exception for the figures that generate the same, because the biggest thing is they're generating the same collector number. So that's where the issue lies. But yeah, I don't really see any issue with it. It's mainly just is it healthy for the format? That's what I care about. So if it is healthy for the format, cool. But that would be something you need to test.
I wouldn't want to see it get rid of the restricted list though, because I think that's
No.
something separate. But
No, I just meant like you would tweak the restricted list, because obviously if the reason the figure's on there is because you spam them in multiples, and it was a problem, then they could get re-looked at and go, hey, are they a problem anymore? Maybe not.
I think the main one's really just Maggot. The rest of them, I think, belong on there.
I think it's Maggot, CSS, and the Ivy from the Iconics. If you can't spam them in multiples, I don't think they're nearly as bad. So, because I saw CSS get played at ours, and he was not nearly as potent when you couldn't run two of them.
Yeah, but they also didn't have porters on the team, though. Either one helped them out quite a bit. But let's see. Oh, Pete, what did you think about Highlander? Do you think Silver should be Highlander?
I think Highlander with the ability to account for generics is very doable and very reasonable. I just think it is. We built Highlander for cliX Mania, and it was great.
Yeah.
Like I had no problem building. I think we were even themed too, weren't we?
Yeah,
we
you
were
had to be
themed on
themed
Highlander.
Highlander. Yeah, between you and your
Yeah.
partner, and it was fine.
It was 100% fine. So I don't think it's as restrictive as people think it is.
All right, Dan, want to bring us into our next one? Should the OMA rule stay in silver?
Yeah, another poll. So we had 85% saying it should stay, and a 14% should say I thought it should go.
53 votes.
Yeah, 53 votes total. I was actually pretty surprised about this. This was another one that I thought would be. I wasn't sure that this one could be kind of like I thought it would actually be closer, and it being a landslide was pretty cool. So I thought it'd be a little more down the middle. People being like, "Oh, I don't like it," or "Oh, I do like it." So
I thought honestly it would be a little bit more skewed just from some of the biggest issues coming from Darkseid and the Trigon thing. So yeah, I was surprised.
I think Darkseid's exactly why it was so skewed. Is because of Darkseid.
No, but people said that they wanted it to stay.
no, they want 85 were like we want the OMA rule to stay, which
No,
I was
that's
like,
what I mean.
cool.
Yeah, a lot of people actually do like Darkseid.
Oh, you think it's
Yeah.
skewed the other way because people wanted to play the broken figure?
Oh, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess that could be the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just looking
Maybe
at
that
people that
balanced
voted
each other
yes.
off. Yeah, I'm with Dan on the take on that one, where I think that people would have said no because that was such a problem.
Yeah. And some of the comments were like Peter Marshfield that says good to have a place to play some larger point costed figures. It's just a bummer. The rules allow them equipment mid game. I'm not sure what he's meaning by that.
I think maybe just a quip, like he's talking about
Oh.
Trigon.
Oh, Trigon Soul Sword. Oh, okay, sorry. And then Man Guy with Power Gem. Oh, that's disgusting. And then Barnstable says I think modern pieces over 200. I think actually 200 or more are not. He says are rarely playable, and 300 modern says it gives them a format to be playable, and that's what I'm for. Is like
Yes.
you don't get to see the tent poles really be playable in modern because there's just it's unless they do everything, which it's very hard to design a figure that does that much because then you're almost leaning to it being too good. And that could be a problem in and of itself. So I think having a format where the big boy pieces can see play.
That's the
is
main
awesome.
point right there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because I don't want the big point cost of pieces to be leaned so far the other way that they're so ridiculous that they're just the autoplay, like they are in sealed. And that's the thing I don't want.
Yeah.
So I want them to be good. I just don't want them to be like, all right, everybody has to play this.
Did I cut you off? Did you have more comments?
I had a couple more. McConnell said he just pointed out the question from earlier. Rob Peterson, he said we're a few more things tweaked, he thinks it's good. No matter what, good players will always find ways to break scenarios and build limitations. He says cut the OMA thing out and they will just find breaks. They can find other ways to break stuff. They said this has allowed for more variations in builds, even if some people only used it for one or two different pieces. So I think the general sentiment was that they liked the OMA rule, and it's just like we said, the silver just obviously it can improve itself over time. So if you keep improving it, like we're headed in a good direction. So I think the rule is a good rule to actually put in place.
I think overall I did really like the rule a lot. However, there were some issues that just weren't allowed to be addressed fast enough. I think that was the main thing. Without Butterfly, Darkseid would have ruined the whole circuit. And without Trick Arrows, the Trigon Soul Sword thing would have been much worse the last week or two. And I know there's other combos too that kind of help take out Trigon and Soul Sword, like Doom and the Time Platform. But when you start having to play something to counter something that's just very toxic, I just don't think that that's good for the game.
But the cool part was there were answers in silver for modern pieces. Yes, it was like silver combos, but it was cool to see like Griever, DJ Doom stuff emerge. It's like, hey, yeah, we counter that really good actually.
Yeah,
So-
there were some answers for it. I don't think Trigon Soul Sword did well anywhere, and it was it the last week or last 2 weeks it was legal?
I think it was last week. I don't think he got played. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think he did good anywhere. People were ready.
But there's only a few out, and no one played them. So
Yeah.
that first.
Miles, what's your opinion on the OMA rule?
I do like it. It's just so there's only a very few modern game elements that are even worth playing above 200 points. So it was really limiting anyway. When you look at it, especially when Silver started, like who else were you gonna play outside of Darkseid? I guess there was that Loki that never saw any play. That was one surprise for me, is not seeing that. But
Agreed.
yeah, I wish that it would have been more of a variety of seeing more OMAs besides just Darkseid for your one game element. I know there was a few, but there wasn't really a lot that can just come off the top of my head.
Yeah. Kong was one where I think you could play him at 300. Oliver played him at 300.
Yeah.
Pete, what about you? Should the OMA rule stay in Silver?
Absolutely. Absolutely should stay in Silver. I think the issues with the OMAs that arose was because of how the piece was worded and how it was able to be built around. I think that taking that away takes away some of the fun of Silver and some of the playability of really high-pointed modern pieces. You're not going to see Darkseid at a modern event. Maybe you do, but there's so many answers. He'll just get out-actioned without that stuff. So it's just really cool. I like playing one-man armies, so this is a rule that I very much enjoyed when the ruling came down, and I look forward to building around it in the future.
For sure. Do you want to bring us into the next one, which is the best sculpt of 2024?
I do. We the best sculpt of the 2024. We have Austin weighing in for Ultra Chase Superman. Ethan Davis said the Beholder. Joe G said Rip Hunter. That's an underrated one. just for the space butt.
He's got a plan.
Rob Peterson is Hadari Yao. I agree with that. Matt Prognano said, got to go with Phoenix Wolverine. Gareth Schnathor said, not something I'm overly excited to play, but damn, Beholder looks amazing, as does Con Ellie Iceman. Jay Solomon said Chase She-Hulk. That was actually a really cool sculpt and a really overlooked piece by me. Peter Marshall said I personally like King Deadpool and Elsa Bloodstone. Ryan Harris said Darkseid. Justin Nichols Aquanix, Nico Taborda, sorry, bud. Major Logan, Damian Matthew Birth, Towerette, Constantine said Khonshu, McConnell Lamar says it's a late entry, but there's excellent detail in the Beholder scope, gets his vote, and Jason Alvey agreed with him. Super Sore All Day for Antonio Clark, Paul Cote with Trigon, Dylan Casabom, Hadari Yao, Wes Robertson, Major Logan, James Yount Jr., Venom Killmonger, as he will always be known on this show. Calder Ness with Major Logan. Nick Ballou with Trigon, but he's also going to give love to Super Rare Abomination from Next Phase. And Antonio Clark's upgraded a tomb. I don't know what that means, so I'm going to have to figure that one out. So,
He
Charles
did it to look a lot better.
Okay, Charles Constant, Trigon. Matty G said Phoenix Wolverine or Panther. Ben Groenheid with Kong. Yeah, Kong is pretty good sculpt too. And Jay Carr said Cathan. I will say, honestly, Towerette was a great choice. All the gods, I thought, were honestly just excellent sculpts. And I do love Hadariel's sculpt too. I just hate how it falls over every 3 seconds.
I went with the Beholder. I don't know if you guys have opened that one up yet, but if that's the start of what we're going to be getting out of the D&D cliX, I'm really excited for them. The Beholder looks really, really nice. Miles,
I saw it. It did. I went with Green Torch because the sweet translucent, like it's a huge amount of translucent, and it's just my son's favorite dinosaur. So
that's a good choice.
My favorite dinosaur is Plamodons.
No, that's my least favorite dinosaur. Those actually were the first dinosaurs to go extinct. That's how trash they were as dinosaurs. That's a scientific fact. No, David Attenborough told me when I was watching the videos about dinosaurs, and he went on about how they were called the trash pandas of the dinosaurs, and like it was like the first experiment, and they're trash.
Wow. Yeah. Dan, what's your favorite sculpt?
Can I have like honorable mentions, or am I like?
You get to start to say one, and then I'm gonna cut you off, so you didn't even get one.
Oh,
No, go ahead.
definite-
List out your stuff.
There's definite strict rules in this podcast.
is that how that is? So my favorite overall this year is honestly Amit. She's beautiful. I've had her on my sideline a couple different times now, and I love that sculpt. The braided hair that they did, it's a beautiful sculpt. I think my runner-ups were Dr. Drip from the Hellfire Gala.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and what was the other one?
He didn't get any votes, did he? He should
No.
have.
And Odin
You got none.
Odin and Ravens was my other
But Amit also looks quite a lot like Whoopi Goldberg from Sister Act, and I think that gives her a few points as well.
yeah, so those were my three. Odin and Ravens, what was that? Dr. Drip and but Amit was probably my favorite. She sees she's on my desk most of the time because I have all three of the gods on my desk and they're beautiful as the trio. So
That's my favorite.
You know
one.
why I like Dan? One of the many reasons I like Dan. So I go through and I read this long list and just editorialize as I go because I usually do, and then I named like 4 pieces, and Dan was like, "Can I have honorable mentions?" No, Dan, you get one choice.
The other ones that Pete already mentioned that got more than one vote was Phoenix Wolverine with only 2, Hidari Yao with only 2, Major Logan got 3, tied with Trigon for 3, and then Beholder for 3. And then we do have our next one, which is the favorite big event of 2024, and this one was pretty skewed. So Champion Clix Open got 23%, Adepticon got 2%, Rock Cup, Gen Con, and Origins all got 1% each, and then Worlds and Rock States were actually tied at 36% each, and that was with 53 votes, which was quite a lot too. I thought we were going to get a little bit more for Worlds, and I was surprised that so many people voted high for Rock States. So that was really cool, and I'm surprised that Rock Cup didn't get more votes as well. Comments for this one. John Burgess missed Champion Clicks this year, and Hero Clicks for Huntington's is usually fantastic, but no AC and the continued stubbornness to use Auxit were definitely strikes against it in 2024. And then Wes wanted to vote for Red, White, and Clicks, and Peter Marshfield also wanted that. Red, White, and Clicks was honestly really awesome, Wes. That was a great time. I just did not include it in the biggest events of the year, but you were able to get 60... what was it? 64? How many people came, Dan? Do you remember?
I think so for
67.
the team or
67?
Yeah, for modern it was 67. Yeah, that's right. Yep, it was a massive field. I was really shocked at how full all the tables were.
Yeah, for the first time running this event, 2 days it was a great showing. So it was definitely up there. And then David Newmark said, "I'm not biased here, so I'm gonna guess that he voted for Champion Clicks."
It clicked.
I'm just gonna assume. And it just updated, so it looks like I have 55 votes on that. I always go with Champion Clicks. I know I've said that quite a few times. There's something to be said about Worlds. It just has that big event feel. It's just the biggest event of the year. But Champion Clicks' annual main event weekend, it comes so close to matching that, and then it feels more like a vacation. The events are awesome, and the issues are minimal to non-existent. So that is what got my vote for sure. Miles, what about you?
It was tough. I'm not. It was. I really didn't know exactly which one was going to be my favorite. But as I only went to a few, so it sucks. So that's where it skews. But I'd have to go with Rock Cup. But Worlds was great because Worlds it had all of us in it. So. But Worlds, Aquamiles, Swam, in Nashville. So yeah.
Worlds was awesome.
Yeah.
Dan, what about you? What was your favorite big event of 2024?
All right, so Champion Clicks is a close second to Worlds because I got to team up with the magic duo of Miles and Pete. That was just a whole other thing. We willed the Dark Side double prime brick into existence, and that was the best part about it, we like opened 2 packs, and Miles pulls Dark Side, and we're like, "Here you go, Pete. Have fun."
Yep, and then we got the dino that I said that I'd prefer to play if I'm going
Yep.
to play a potato dino.
That was great.
And then we got your Blue Beetle. So yeah, that was we got the entire brick that we said we wanted, we got, which was awesome.
What about you, Pete? Favorite big events of 2024?
I went with Worlds. I went with Worlds because I got a room with Dan and Miles, and we just had an absolute more fun than we should have had. Team Worlds was cool. My Modern Worlds was not great, but I just had so much fun, and I just had so much fun outside of HeroClix and just connecting with the community. And this was like,
Yeah, we got
so
pocket chicken again. It was great.
yeah, we had pocket chicken. We had driving over every morning to see if they're going to charge me to park my car. We had wrestling themes every morning. We had the arm wrestling match between Aquamiles and Captain Calder. We had just unbridled, ridiculous nonsense every day, and it was such a blast. And it was so cool for me to be there and have people turn around and say, "Are you Pete?"
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Yeah," and he'd be like, "Oh man, I love you on the like. We love the podcast. Like, you guys are awesome. Like, just keep doing what you're doing." And that just 100% blew me away, because there's nothing to me that would suggest that this would have gotten as far as it's gotten at this point. So I just Worlds is always fun. So.
Yeah, and I want to add too that Worlds is a close second to me. We got to bring Oliver to his first big event like that, and so that was really cool to be able to do that with him. And we got to do the live stream the day before with Dial H2, which was just a ton of fun. So Worlds this year was definitely the best Worlds that I've ever been to, but looking forward to being able to relive some of that at Champion Clix in March. All right, Miles, want to bring us to the favorite neoprene map?
So now we have 4 maps up for here. We have 37% say Icy Lake, 32% say Major Brock's Bunker, 7% went with Brock and Roll Concert, and 24% with the Mansion. Garrett, because he really wishes he could get his hands on the Mansion, played on it once and he loves it. And then James Jr. Wants to know where you can get these. I believe they should all hopefully be available soon from Gamer Mats, I believe, is what Aaron was talking about a few episodes ago.
But also just check out eBay. Look for neoprene maps or specific ones that you want, and they do pop up. Otherwise, some of them are hard to get when they first come out.
Otherwise, they are. I mean, you can talk to your local organizer, and they can order it. I mean, the kits are still available. The maps are in there, so I mean, you.
Oh yeah, the obvious way.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just trying to throw.
No. We didn't even mention that. No, that was a very good point. The obvious way, not just the other ways.
Yeah. I was just thinking of all the maps. Yeah, the rock and roll concert map, I think, is the one that's still going.
I think that one's on Gamer Mats, I thought.
No, none of these are right now. Icy Lake was only available at the HeroClix for Huntington, so that one is not going to be, unless it does show up on Gamer Mats, that one's going to be a little harder to probably track down. Major Brock's Bunker was in the Winamaps for, I think, at least 3 months, if not longer. But a lot of people have that one, so that's something that you can order. I think an extra one, maybe if you do have a venue that is doing Winamaps. Currently, the Winamap is Brock and Roll Concert, so if you, again, have a venue that can order the Winamaps, that's an easy way to get it. And then the Mansion, right now, that's just available, or it was available, I should say, for placing top 4 in any of the state's events. So that one might be a little bit trickier to get, but check out, again, eBay. I know there were some that pop up on there.
And it might turn into a monthly, or it might go into the kit too. You never know. I'm not sure how that
it's always
works,
possible. The Mansion's a ton of fun. I have been bringing that one to our weekly events quite frequently, and I've been having a lot of fun on that. That might be the map that I play the most in 2025, at least for the first half. Of course, Brock's Bunker will be on there too, but that one's really good.
It's got to be Brock's Bunker because I like going second, and that map allows me to at least protect myself for a little bit. So
that's your vote?
Yep.
Yep, that is mine as well. I don't know how it took second, to be honest with you. What about you, Dan?
Yeah.
Probably the bunker. I mean, the funny thing is I used to like every time you played it against me, it was one of those where I'm like, oh, I gotta play on this map. And now that I figured out, you just turn it sideways. I'm like, all right, it's not as nearly as bad as I thought. So
It does
I
change it.
like the map. I like the map. It's a solid map, but it's nowhere near. It's not like it's not oppressive like I'd say like Morlock Tunnels or what was that? The Underground? Was it Underground? Was that
Yeah.
that one? Underground was pretty bad. So like it's not like that. It's just a good solidly defensive map that allows you to like protect yourself if you are going second.
Pete, what was your favorite neoprene map of 2024?
I did the Rock and Roll concert.
Really?
I
Okay.
just like it. Yeah, I did. I like it.
Map.
Yeah, it's a good looking map. It's got a nice little different varieties of terrain and stuff. And I didn't mind Brock's Bunker. I think it's an important map to have. Honestly, really Brock's Bunker wasn't the problem. It was the damn barrel that was the problem for me. So, yeah.
You shut your mouth about that.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong with
Everybody.
Barrel needs a legacy card after this next year.
Absolutely.
I'm all right.
we just played a battle royale on the Rock and Roll concert though, and it's a fun map. It is.
Like it's
Yeah, I
got the
watched most of that.
stage, it's got the
Fun
bleachers. It's a good looking map. That's the one, right? With the
Yeah,
it's got
with the
stage on
bleachers.
one side.
Yeah, the bleachers really add a lot to it, and the stage is really cool.
Yeah.
It's well done.
Hey, that's what I thought because Ollie played it a couple weekends ago. That was the map, or for the sealed, and I was like, "What the heck map is this?" And he's like, "Oh, it's the concert map." And I'm like, "All right, this is neat."
Yeah, it really is a cool one. All right, Dan, favorite paper map of 2024?
All right, so we had a lot of options. So we had next phase courtroom, next phase Obama State Yurt, next phase Kate's apartment, next phase Bloodstone Maze, Deadpool Weapon X Lab, Deadpool Weapon X Sentinel Factory, Deadpool Weapon X Savage Land, Deadpool Weapon X Canadian Wilderness, Deadpool Weapon X Monster Island, Deadpool Weapon X Terra Verde, Masters of Time High Noon Saloon, Masters of Time Paradise Island, Masters of Time Apocalypse, Masters of Time House of Mystery, Masters of Time The Temple, Masters of Time Lazarus Pit, 2025 Marvel Starter 2025, the Annex DC 2025 Starter Cord Industries, Black Panther Wakandan Battlefield, Black Panther Little Mogadishu, Black Panther Vibranium Mines, and Black Panther Testing Grounds. The highest one was next phase, the Bloodstone Maze, followed by Deadpool Weapon X Monster Island, actually, shockingly, and then there was a three-way tie for third with Master of Time Apocalypse, Deadpool Weapon X Canadian Wilderness, and next phase Courtroom. And then there was a couple other small ones, but yeah, those are the leaders. So Bloodstone Maze coming out ahead with like, what was it? 28 votes for like 49% of the overall totals. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we had 56
I mean,
votes for that one.
Yeah, it's a solid map. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's another good like defensive map that you can play. So I played it at what was that? Red, White, and Clix. That was my okay. I'm going second map because I didn't have the bunker at the time, so I played that.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely the most popular one that I get put on a lot, which I don't mind because it really is a pretty good map. I'm not a fan of that Monster Island though. It's pretty close to any Wakanda map that Pete plays that just doesn't have anything to go behind. It's just wide open.
Oh man, I wonder which one I'm going to be bringing around more.
I'm sure. But I wonder if some of these honestly just didn't get a chance to get played as much. Because I thought the set that had the coolest maps was Masters of Time. All of theirs were honestly just really really good. Mine were House of Mystery. I think is my first one that I like the most, with Apocalypse being a very close second. Did you say what yours was, Dan?
Mine is actually probably Bloodstone. I will second my follow-up will be I think Monster Island just because I got to pull off the Poseidon quake off the arrow, which was hilarious, and I murdered a bunch of frogs, so that was pretty hilarious.
Oh, what are they called?
The Frogman team.
Yeah, Frogman. Miles, what was your favorite paper map?
Bloodstone Maze, but like you said, Master of Time has tons of great ones. And actually, Wakanda's Little Mogadishu, that's a huge part of the Crew miniseries that had Josiah X come out. So it was cool to see that, even if his legacy card disappointed. So I'm looking forward to playing on that map. But yeah, it's Bloodstone Maze. Bloodstone Maze is just, it has everything you want in a map outside of it being indoor.
Yeah, very true.
I haven't played on the Black Panther maps yet, so I haven't had any experience with them. So I don't. I want to see what they are. I haven't really played on them yet, though.
Yeah, I think that honestly
Yeah, they're all
skewed some
outdoor.
people. The Vibranium mines are cool. They are also outdoor, but it's a pretty cool map.
Yeah, it's cool to see a mine that is outdoor,
Yeah, it might be. It's like a
Awesome.
volcano.
I
I
don't-
don't know.
Well, wouldn't it be? Yeah, some mines are outdoors if you have the excavate, like if it's the pit in the excavation.
But the
some of them are.
Vibranium mines are not outdoor.
I know.
Vibranium mines are
I'm
not
just,
outdoor.
I'm just being.
I just wish it
facetious
was.
with
Yeah,
that.
I wish it was an indoor map, but it is a pretty cool map beyond that. Pete, do you have a favorite paper map from 2024?
Sentinel Factory.
That's a good one. Actually, that was up there with me too.
Yeah, I like the
I was
dividing
surprised.
line across the middle, and so yeah, I like it.
That was on my world's
I thought you were going to go
sheet.
with Monster Island. You like open maps.
You will now.
No, I mean, I already had it in the thing because once Wakanda goes away, I got to figure something else out to put Redmond on to hear him complain about every week. So, yeah.
They're
And
like,
that
oh,
one,
here we go again with the Monster Island.
I liked that one, and I did really enjoy the House of Mystery. So,
Like, here's a fun fact, Pete. Guess who plays on Monster Island? Players that are trash.
Bookwood.
it's fine. You guys aren't going to lump me in and gaslight me on this one. The map's fine.
All right, Pete. Let's go to the next one. Best Chase Booster Bystanders. Which set?
The best Chase Booster Bystanders was a poll, and it went overwhelmingly to Deadpool Weapon X. But Marvel's Next Phase got 5%, Deadpool Weapon X got 70%, and Black Panther got 25%. And there was only one comment. Oh, there's a couple comments. The Flaming Tube is the greatest pog of all time. And then
That was Ben Groenheid.
Oh, it was.
Matt Looper would agree.
I
would
didn't see the comments. I just kind of assumed it was Looper.
I mean, I didn't even remember Next Phase had. I guess they have the Madison Pog.
Yeah, there's
They
some.
do.
And Groot.
Yeah, Groot.
There's some good
But
ones.
Groot
there.
was from the pizza box, wasn't he?
Yeah, there's two Groots. There's a crappy Groot from the Chase Booster and one from the good one from the pizza box. Yeah, I would have went with X Phase 100% if, but you don't ever get that Groot from the Chase's boosters. So I think Black Panther actually has better than Deadpool Weapon X.
That's actually what
Black
I voted
Panther's
for
both
too.
suffer from.
Yeah, Black Panther's
Yeah,
got
what
some
they
really
both
good
suffer
ones.
from is they wasted potential new figures on just a bystander, which is sad.
Totally agree.
I voted for Black Panther purely out of personal reasons. It's like I just liked the bystanders from that set overall more than I did the other sets.
So I think Deadpool
You
and
like
Weapon
the
X had the best two in Time Breakers and Weasel, but as far as like an overall set, I think Black Panther had less like just fill-in ones that didn't do as much.
Yeah.
Pete, did you say what yours was?
I went Black Panther. I mean, Weasel Pog's amazing. Time Breakers is whatever. It's cool. It's not something I would build around, but Weasel has like a ton of uses. But there's not really much else in there. That Gwenpool maybe because of the prob.
Yeah.
But she's like 20 points, right?
Hard to kill. 'Cause
Yeah,
she
I mean-
can come back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she comes back 46.
I think the stuff in Black Panther, like the 15-pointed leadership one, I mean, that's really useful.
Oh,
Like
see, I actually
almost
like-
universally.
Yeah, I actually like Zenzi too. She's another good one. So
Yeah, so I would have went with the Black Panther ones.
Dan, did you say what yours was?
Black Panther just purely from personal, like it was just like I liked the bystanders from Black Panther the most, and they have a symbiote bystander in there. I was like, oh, you've already got my attention.
And
Where was the Raven from?
That was Black
Black Panther
Panther,
too.
but it's just
Dude.
Raven.
That one is awesome. I love it. I'm
Yeah.
trying to actually currently track things down. I'm trying to track one down. It's essentially like you're betting people are going to miss rolls.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, eBay or Facebook, someone sold it for $40
Oh
Yeah?
really?
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
want one of those also.
7015
Yeah, I know what you want it for.
0 ESD, and it's Omen of Doom. When an opposing character within 4 squares in line of fire attacks, attack rolls of 4 or less or crit misses. Yeah.
Like I thought this was Odin's Raven, and I'm like, nah, they'd actually named something.
And sign me, it's Mystics too, so it's not like you really want to attack the stupid little thing.
Nope.
So.
And
Yeah, that's one that I really found interesting. Shield Operative's great too. Yeah, I would say Black Panther. I think Black Panther's.
yeah, as a
got
set,
more.
I think it is definitely Black Panther. Miles, what did you say though? Did you say Black Panther too?
Yeah, no, it's I'm a huge Josiah X fan, and so yeah, no, I made sure I already got my Josiah X bystander. I just need to try and get Iron Fist.
He's
The
pretty
Shield
good
Operative,
for.
like, yeah, it's just insane too.
He's pretty good for 20
Oh,
points.
Josiah X, 20
His
points? Oh,
dial is
yeah.
really good for 20.
I mean, you give him the Falcon Red Wing, and like he's a beat stick, 12 for 4 with super strength, double target. Like you can't just ignore him.
No.
Yeah, as a set, it's definitely better than Deadpool Weapon X, but Weasel is just crazy, and the Timebreaker Pog, even though it lost a little bit, is still great. All right, then we have one of the more controversial ones is thoughts on the way bystanders are released in Chase OP boosters in 2024, and what would you like to see changed at all? And if so, how? So this one had quite a few comments. Let's see here. So 38 comments on this one. Jasper Vincent Alantaga. Dyson. Bring Dyson tokens back. James Yount Jr. just not a fan of. No. Austin Murray. I think it would be okay if they only had 6 to 8 and not as many as they do. The rest should come in the booster with the figures or a dice token pack or play at home kits even. Carl Harry Jr. I don't like them being in Chase boosters almost exclusively. Them being prizes at States events were cool if you were lucky enough to attend and place. I've seen some great ideas posted already and thought of one more. Maybe have a year-long online story, spend $50, get X bystanders event, kind of like how Gingerbread Man Holiday Elf are rotating for the holidays. Other than we have Marcus Romero Javier. Speaking as a tournament organizer in a country that has no distributor, it's absolutely horrible for our players. The fact that these bystanders are really good doesn't help either. I wish they just added them in booster packs or whatever other sealed product so it'd be easier to get for the average player. The concept of a booster with a guaranteed chase is really good for tournament support, but having exclusive items, and very good ones for that matter, on these already limited products just widens the gap between the average players and the whales that can afford dropping $100 on a POG. Mork Bird, bring back Dyson token packs or seed them across bricks. 3 in every 12 booster bricks would help justify the new price more. William DesRochers, they need to be either also included in boosters or be in a Dyson token pack. Bystanders shouldn't be more valuable than chases. Like Pete said when he had to pick a bystander over a chase, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
No, but you're crazy if you don't.
Right, exactly.
That's the thing.
Well, that was the thing was I know you were like miffed about it, but I was like my thought was like that piece is gonna maintain its value or go up because it'll become more scarce once these chase boosters disappear and they stop shipping more product out. Those things are gonna be harder to come by.
Because
you
placed
you were
first,
right?
He did, yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
we
did.
had three chase boosters, and what was your choice?
The tattoo pog.
Yeah.
And I asked, Dalton and Dan offered their opinion. I said, what's the pick here, boys? Like, help me out here. And they were like, no, I think you'd take it.
Yeah, I don't think anything was wrong with that. Those are going to be really hard to get.
But it just felt really dirty, like sitting there looking at chases and being like, "Oh, cool, here's my pog."
Yeah, I mean, I tried to give you like as much like an unbiased opinion as I was, because I was like, well, I don't have any of these chases, so I'm getting one of them, so I don't really care which one I get, right? So I tried to
Right.
give you as like an unbiased opinion as I could, like not trying to shift your choice in any form or fashion.
And I ended up with that in the Josiah X Pog, which is Miles. I didn't realize you wanted one so bad. I would have just shipped you mine. But
Got one from before the set was even publicly released. So
oh, cool. So I mean, but
Right.
it just feels weird, right? Like it just I don't know, it just does. But I have a great. It was nice to be able to pick first. I had some good luck that night, and it was nice how we do the pricing. So like literally everybody got something reasonable. So
Yeah, it was good, our event. Back to Matthew Groenhide. Chase boosters were intended to be used for prize support, so I want there to be as many valuable items in there as possible. Is that the best way to distribute bystander tokens? Maybe, maybe not. But regardless, I am glad that we can crack a couple of these open at our local venue and draft the contents as prizes. What is more concerning to me is that we went from chase boosters including 3 bystander tokens in next phase, then 2 in Deadpool Weapon X, and now only 1 in Collector's Trove. That's brutal devaluation of those boxes. I totally agree with that. Also, there just should not be rares in those boxes. They're just not valuable enough to be significant prizing. The figures should include either be a chase, 2 super rares, or a chase, a super rare, and a prime. Also agree.
I think the rare primes could still sit in there, because the rare primes.
Oh yeah,
Are,
no, a super rare or a prime, not a super rare prime.
Oh, okay.
That would be totally fine. Just not a standard
Yeah.
rare, I think is what he's saying.
Yeah, that's
it
fine.
should be minimum rare prime and then above.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Basically,
But really, if you really want to call them a chase booster, it should be 2 to 3 chases and the pogs. If you're gonna do that,
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
right?
Yeah.
It'd be fine.
and make more of them. That's the main problem.
I think,
is that
yeah, honestly, if there was only
some
one,
are able to do more.
one chase, but have them more, I think that more venues would be able to run the those events then more than just once. Like I could see our venue running, 3, 4 of those in between sets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be so much better to help like flush things out.
So like I have zero chance of getting it, and that's really upsetting, especially with collector's trophies, because I guarantee, as Charles Barkley once said, like I guarantee that 10 out of these 16 bystanders are going to be equipment, and I'm not going to even have an opportunity to even try and get them outside of secondary market, and it's going to be overpriced like a weasel.
No,
And that's just ridiculous that's going to.
and part of the problem is that they're so overpriced on the secondary market because they're so limited. But even if you're not able to travel to an event, you'd see a lower price on them if they were easily available a little bit more, especially with them not doing OP things. I know we got the Western one coming out here, but like I said, I think our venue would run 3 or 4 or at least of these things in between sets. And then back to Justin Nichols. Yeah, we all know the answer to this. They just need to bring back dice and tokens and put the bystanders on the back. McConnell Lamar, I'm not at all a fan of how these bystanders are available. I'd love to see them distributed through the play-at-home kits, release day kits, boosters, battle royales, etc. Spread them out and add more value to the product that they come in. That's actually not a bad idea either, putting them in battle royales for events like PAX.
Yeah.
Especially
that'd be great.
like the ones that the venues are hosting that are backed by WizKids right now.
Yeah, anything to spice up the VR pricing is great, because it's really like you definitely, because sometimes your pulls in your sealed boosters are not great. So being able to spice up the prizing pool for the 4 people that are sitting down there would be fantastic.
And realistically, when you're talking about a sculpt and painting and all that versus a poker chip with a sticker on it, it's got to be relatively inexpensive. It's like price cost efficiency, it's up there. All right, Anthony Barnstable, hot takes here. 1, I love that characters that have not been clixed are able to get a clix representation as a bystander thanks to the existence of these bystanders. We would never ever seen a character like Junta any other way. While I agree with that, I there's a lot of characters that I feel like won't get clicks because now they've had a Pog also. The and Deadpool Weapon X, what's the Mutant Liberation Front? There's so many of those characters that should have gotten. What's that?
Yeah, I know. I was saying a Mutant Liberation Front.
Yeah, okay, that was right. Okay. Yeah, there's a ton of those pieces that I would have loved to see get pieces. So I also feel like it takes away when I would have rather just seen them in the sets, especially if we're going to see lower numbered sets or whatever, like Collector's Trove. 2, I think they add value to the Chase retail boosters. Try selling a Chase retail booster with unopened. I will live record the opening and take the bystanders. You keep the rest of the contents and see what the value is for Deadpool Weapon X, Black Panther, or soon enough Collector's Trove. Unless some other alternative is figured out to add value to the Chase boosters to replace the exclusive bystanders, removing them would devalue that item and make it a prize players would be much less excited about, and then players will become upset at the low value of prizing and want more prizing to compensate for the lack of perceived value. It's a brutal catch-22. So do you think that they're just so limited, though? If you put a couple in boosters, do you think it would take that much away from a Chase booster?
No, 'cause I think you're getting more I think if they did the thing we're talking about, where they put the more higher rarity figures in the Chase boosters, and you're not just sticking a regular rare in there, that A, ups the value automatically, and B, you're already getting. Because how many Pogs were in there? Was it 4 in the Chase booster? Was it,
No,
per
next phase was 3. Deadpool Weapon X was 2. Black Panther was
2.
And then Collector's Trove is only 1. So that's becoming more of a problem then. And if there's, I don't think we know how many bystanders are in Collector's Trove yet, but there's more bystanders than chases. So throwing even one of them in a brick isn't that big of a deal. I don't think so.
No, and like it ups the value of your people are like already there's like always consistent complaints about like we aren't getting enough in our boosters to like offset the cost of buying like sealed product, as in like a brick or a case. So I don't think throwing something in there it should be fairly easy to manufacture at very low cost. It should be fairly simple. You just throw it in. I mean, they did it with they did it with team ups, and they did it with Batman Team Up, where they literally did a construct, and those still hold value even now because people want the constructs to go with the rings, even in silver. So I think that those figures, like the Chase booster, will maintain its value because of what it is. It's got a Chase. It's got hopefully at least a super or 2 supers. I think they could improve the quality of the Chase booster, and then it's got a couple Pogs. So I think that will always maintain its value because you're getting consistency out of a Chase booster, right?
Right.
But I think the throwing it in with your sealed product to increase the value of your sealed product to give your players, hey, here's way more incentive to go buy a brick or go buy a case.
Yeah,
so
there has to be.
It's less about that. It's more about the readily availability of the Chase boosters and how limited they are. If they made more Chase boosters, I don't think this would be as big of a problem.
Yeah, like that's another answer right there.
Some stores can get like a 10, and other stores only get 2. Like that doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah, like if you're throwing money at WizKids, they shouldn't be like, oh, you guys only bought this much product, so you're only going to get X amount of Chase boosters. Like, look, if they're wanting to buy 20 of them or whatever to fill out their thing and do prize support each week, go for it. That's what support, like prizing support, is supposed to be for. At least that's my thought.
The only thing that I can think of is if they want to control some stores from just throwing them up on eBay, but.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. That's up to their discretion. I don't disagree with that.
I guess maybe you could always, like, pre-releases, you can always prove that you're running events for them or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, 3, looking at next phase, I don't remember seeing any excitement about any of the bystanders because none of them were meta, and the only exciting parts about the Chase booster were the 4 pieces that were $100. So if all the bystanders were not meta, it seems that would result in a disappointing experience that wouldn't be far off from point number 2 of a devalued product, but even worse because then players would still be upset there are exclusive items, but that in this new situation they also aren't even good or worth the value. So this seems like the solution would that would potentially be the worst. The thing is, though, is now you're comparing where they started and like a lot of different things, like legacy cards. The legacy cards were not good for the first, what 2,
year?
3 sets? Yeah.
Like basically the first year, they pretty much
And
sucked.
even after that, because we didn't really get the first good legacy cards were from an OP kit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it was still a few sets after that before we actually got good legacy cards. I think Spider-Man Beyond Amazing, maybe Avengers Forever might have been.
It definitely wasn't Spider-Man Beyond Amazing because there was really nothing good in there.
Yeah, just the
I
Carnage.
think isn't the real issue we're just hearing here over and over again is just access.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
legacy cards
Yes.
is once per every brick you buy.
Yep.
In theory,
Bystander.
distribution should be one chase per brick. We all pretty much agree on that.
Yep.
Okay. So if
Bystander.
you bystanders in the bricks, and then
even
you
one.
can have you can have as many of them as you want, and just make the chase boosters better. There shouldn't be rares and chase boosters unless it's a prime.
Yeah, that's.
And you're still supporting it, and you're still supporting it. You're still getting people a chance to win something they didn't pull.
Mm-hmm.
You're not discrediting any of your product. You're not making this thing where it feels dissatisfactory for, like you get a Marvel's Next Phase bystanders, which weren't great. Then everybody wants the meta bystanders, sure, but you're giving everybody a chance to just simply buy it, and hey, what you pull is what you pull. And as HeroClix players, we all universally accept that. I bought a booster. What's coming out? Where's my plastic crack, right? So I just think it's access is really the issue. I don't think it devalues chase. Chase boosters are great. They're fun. They're fun for an event.
Yeah.
You plan a complete event around it. You play. You draft the prizes. Everybody goes home happy.
And we usually have a much bigger turnout at any time that we do those too. So the idea is good. It just needs to get tweaked a little bit.
Absolutely.
Number 4, the other problem is each additional copy of a non-exclusive chase available in retail chase boosters lowers the value of that chase on the secondary market, especially if it is common in those boosters or if those boosters are very plentiful, creating a problem where the more value added with additional chase boosters, the less value there is per chase booster. Another problematic catch-22 without exclusive content. That one might have some truth to it, but realistically, chases are still getting pretty cheap pretty fast unless you're talking about like a Hidari Yao. But what's some of the other ones? Like I already picked up a Zeus, which is pretty cool, and he's one that you can put on a sideline for I think maybe $60, and that's.
Oh, I just picked him up for 40. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the chases are already going down pretty fast. So I don't think that.
Well, so I guess it depends, right? Because the secondary market is so volatile. So like what did we see, right? Like what there was something recent where a chase was like, like Diana, right? Oh hey, she was like $35 when she came out, and then she like spiked to whatever she was there for a little bit, and then she settled back down. Like that just shows like how volatile the market is.
Okay, so here's actually number 5. People didn't seem excited about alternate paint jobs with sketch variants back in the day, or Art Deco Chase boosters exclusive Werewolf by Night. So those seem like an avenue the community doesn't really want in their chase boosters. What option is there for exclusive content other than something non-mechanically identical to an existing game element if repaints are not desirable as an option? I think that's something to honestly go back and revisit. Like what if we were just talking about Zeus? Like what if Zeus had like a red lightning bolt or something like that instead? Or the different sash or whatever he's wearing. I know that's something that I would seek out and collect, and that would add value. Variant.
Okay. Next phase being disappointed outside of the gods.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do, I don't think, with the repaint of Werewolf by Night.
No,
I think that just there was only 3 chases that were worth having. So
yeah, and
no
the funny thing is,
red.
And it's just funny that that's changed over time, right? Because now She-Hulk is much more popular. Other superheroes have picked up more steam. I mean, like Wong or Titania or whatever, like they've picked up more steam over time. Like
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know, like yeah, the set like initially people didn't think it was great, but I don't know, like it's just, that's a like more nuanced thing that I think like just the
Yeah.
like
No, the
like
availability is the main reason why, and I think that's the exact reason why is that there's just the chase boosters are so limited, and then there's so many bystanders, and if your store is only able to get two of them, like okay, now you get
four
what if you
bystanders
get
at most.
yeah, four bystanders out of 16, and most bystanders are unplayable. But even so, like just to collect them though, it becomes that much harder to even collect them
Hmm.
when you have stores limited
So
to only
many.
two.
Yeah, if you're talking like just from a collection standpoint of like, hey, I want to own like Rebin, I want to own one of everything. That's
Yeah.
really difficult. Like that's really difficult. I know a lot of people that are collectors that just want to collect it to collect it. That's tough. Like 16
No,
individual
and the
game
thing
elements.
is, as equipment is that's a one thing though that I'm just like, no, you can't make it equipment.
No. See, my thing is I really liked the Batman team up formula of they gave you a what do you call it? They gave you a construct in every booster, and they replaced a figure. I don't know if that's necessarily the thing, but if you're gonna have these pogs, I feel like throwing at least like
They're
two
more
per brick
valuable
in
than
there
yeah,
is
they're
just
more
good.
valuable than a common. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if a legacy card with two pogs, I think it would be
Yeah,
awesome to see. You can even keep the chase boosters, just make them more available. But
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I don't
having
think
that
that.
be the only avenue to get the bystanders, I think,
Mhm.
is the main thing. It's not saying that remove them completely from that. You can still have the bystanders there, but you should
Exactly.
also be able to get the bystanders from something else, be it from prizing from, you know, battle royals or having them taped to a brick,
Yeah,
like anything. I think
and
is fine. Chase boosters are totally fine with that, but it's the amount of that is available that is just ridiculous. I understand Weasel's good, but like, there's no reason that $150 like for that in Timebreaker is just insane.
no, and I think that anything that should is a part of the set should be available in the sealed like case or brick form. Like it should be in there somewhere, right? Like maybe you won't get all 16 pogs in your case, but you should have a shot at them in your sealed product. Like they snuck in the vibranium and the harp shaped herb in Black Panther as just a free
Mhm.
gimme in the boosters.
Right.
So I don't see why they can't throw the pogs in there.
So
Just
circling back though to the alternate deco, would you care about that?
I guess it for me it's I fall into the camp of like if it's a character I care about, I'm gonna probably go after it. If it's not, and it's not like oh I gotta have it for like modern competitive play, no. But I'm a very like more narrow
Would you
player. I think.
understand that that one would go for 30%, 50% more though, just because of that? We're just
Oh
talking
yeah.
about value. Okay.
Oh yeah, totally. Because it's a collection piece and it's an alternate art form. Like variant covers for comics go for extra money just because they're a variant cover.
Yeah, something like
And they're
that.
great. Like I own a couple of those because they're really dope variants, and I paid more for them, so I totally get that.
Miles, what do you think about the Art Deco? Would you care about that?
Oh no, I absolutely do. Yeah, no, I waited for the Werewolf by Night to be at an affordable price because like I didn't have the opportunity to play for it. Of course I do. I like to get the sketch variants.
Yeah.
As a comic book fan, I like that.
See, I didn't.
And I
I
was a
think.
little disappointed that they didn't have a color version of the Jack and Elsa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
That would
That
have
would
been
have
a
been
great.
cool.
Yeah, exactly.
See, so okay, so I think the thing that I got was when they did the sketch variants, there was so many of them,
They did a
and
whole
I think
set
that
on
was
them, right? Yeah, you could get them
yeah,
all.
it
Yeah.
was like Superior Foes and Joker's Wild, I think, if I remember correctly. Um, and that was like
Yeah,
every figure or something. It was wild how many sketch variants they had.
yeah.
I
It was
think that's the biggest
every
thing.
figure had a sketch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think if they just had a select figures or pool that they had to say, hey, these are our sketch variants, like max at 10 or something, that's fine. You get something cool, you get a different variant of it, whether it's a different like maybe not sketch variant. Like I didn't really necessarily like the all white with the black. I guess it just didn't translate as well in my head like it does.
Problem is the sketch variants looks more like the deep cuts.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Something like that. That's where I like that. Like that's cool. Um, I just didn't like the I like the idea and concept because the black and white style can work really well like on paper, right? But I don't. It just didn't translate to 3D clicks very well.
No, I totally agree on that one.
No, I think are the only ones that actually translated well.
Pete, do you care about the Art Deco if they did something like that?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Would
I
you
would,
understand though,
if
like
I-
if you're like, so let's say you're looking for a piece though, would you understand that that piece, if it was the alternate deco, might be going for like 30 to 50% more?
Oh no, I 100% understand as a longtime comic collector the value of alternate variant covers and alternate stuff. So if you ask me what would it if I pulled it out of my booster, it'd be like neat. Am I gonna go out and buy extra product to get a chance at it? No more so than just getting the character in general.
So, but that would be a way to increase the value of the pieces specifically in the Chase OP booster if they also made the bystanders more readily available. That seems reasonable.
I think it's a great idea to put it in the chase booster and make it as a variant that does increase the value of the chase booster for people. If you're asking me, does it move the needle for me? No, the character itself is what's valuable to me. But I think offering something exclusive without really changing the content of the chase boosters is great.
Yeah.
I think there should never be a consideration about the secondary market for any business making decision at WizKids because the secondary market is volatile and silly, to be quite honest with you. And so I love the clicks economy as much as the next person, but don't base anything off of what's happening on eBay or anywhere else. Like that's strictly stores and resellers problems and players problems. Like just if you want to make the chase boosters better, include rare prime or higher, include more chases, do things like sketch variants. Sure, that's cool. It makes three of the four people on here thought it was really cool. So you're not going to ever make everybody happy. And put the pogs back into the bricks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody's happy. Because the ultimate point, I think Harris said it maybe, was bystanders should not be harder to get than chases.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I don't think anything that's in the set should not be available in like the sealed part of the set. Like it should all come or all still be available in your brick to start.
I agree. I agree 100%.
All right, and then his last one, number 6, I imagine if they stop doing them, we just simply lose all Dyson tokens for a set. Something is better than nothing, right? I actually do agree with that. I am always in the on the side of more is better. What solution do you propose that maintains the value of the chase boosters without raising costs to WizKids? I think we had a lot of ideas there, but thanks for writing all that in, Anthony. That was a lot of good conversation there.
Actually, I honestly like the chase boosters in concept. Like they're just a really solid like alternate thing you can buy as prize support.
Yeah,
If
they need to be
want
tweaked.
Not, like add in the bystander. You can just have a random bystander in a play at home kit. Because like that's going to even encourage people to even buy multiple play at home kits outside of just having terrain.
Jason Phillip, I wish we could go back to Dyson tokens. WizKids still made money, but the secondary market for the official versions is nuts. The company can't pretend that the secondary market doesn't exist like Wizards of the Coast did for so many years. Wizards of the Coast is making more money now with the Secret Lair product selling singles than ever before, which is what the Iconics line in HeroClix has become. Ben Groenheid, I really don't get the change from token packs to chase boosters. If they were the new dials in the old non-blind packs, those would sell incredibly well. If there were only 3 bystanders total or so, I wouldn't mind them being in the chase boosters as is. Rob Peterson, I absolutely hate it. Now add in that they are turning out to be a meta-defining pieces, and it just makes for a whole bunch of nonsense. There's some of these characters that should actually be sculpted and have full dials, and this might be the only version of them we ever get. Looking at you, Junta. That's something I was kind of saying earlier too, is that that's what they're going to do instead of making those characters. Make bystanders out of things that make sense to have bystanders, animals, companions, and such, but characters with full-on abilities, powers, and history should never ever be bystanders. I agree with that too. It also wouldn't be so bad if there weren't like 20 of them per set, or if they were made more available than in something you're limited to 2 per store, of essentially limiting stores by 4 bystanders per set, like, I don't know, packs. Even if they were 1 per 4 packs, it would dramatically increase availability while making them a little bit more special for those dud packs that are out there. Richard Zatlukol, terrible, should be in the normal boosters too, but to make them easier for players to get. Kari Sampson, good lord, where do I start? The level of assholery involved in these things, that they replace the token packs, that they're blind boxes, that the Pogs have grown from 10 total in next phase to 17 in Deadpool Weapon X to 16, but the number in each box has shrunk from 3 to 4 to just 2, that some characters are appearing for the first time in cliX as some of these Pogs, that some are meta-worthy, that every single set of them has been unplayable due to quality control issues where they lack 1 point cost, 2 set numbers, 3 power trait texts, 4 keywords, 5 whole powers, 6 speed and damage symbol types, 7 range values. This list is only compounded by the 1 high cost to retailers, limited availability, keeping folks from even playing for them, occasional poor distribution, such as boxes with 2 rares instead of a super rare along with the chase. Yes, that one hurts a lot. And then the blind box model. All relatively good points. Do you guys want to add anything to that? That was a lot.
Nah, he nailed it.
Pretty good points. Thomas.
I just like the use of the word assholery. No, but I think his points are valid.
Thomas Benage, if they were to put the tokens into a purchasable pack that was preferably non-blind at the quality they currently are doing, I'd pay more money for that most sets. It seems, well, like a puzzling business decision to put these highly desirable items far out of reach for consumers. The chase packs already sell out every set. This isn't netting a bigger payday for them, and it's doing the health of the game no good to have a $160 poker chip. Even if in non-competitive sense, people are having a hard time justifying paying $20 for a poker chip of their rarely printed favorite character. No display value. Make it cool or make it attainable if we can't have both, but please don't deny players both. Ryan Harris, bystanders should not be harder to acquire than chase figures in the set. Incorporate them differently into the set. Michael Donicht, figures shouldn't come incomplete. Wes Robertson, I hate the chase boosters. Either bring back dice and token packs, or include the bystanders and dice in the boosters, or play-at-home kits. Garrett Schnothorst, I think it's a pretty fair guess that no one likes the current distribution method. I think that's obvious with the amount of time we've been spending on this one. It really is the worst. I would love to see it handled better in various ways. 1, a complete purchasable token pack, maybe with some dice and terrain. I'd pay like $50 for that if you're giving me 16 tokens, some dice, some terrain, preferably interactive 3D pieces. 2, tossing them down at events for BR prizing or participation prizing. Be plentiful with them. They are so easy to produce, and people would love these things being tossed down with a couple of Kynellies as potential prizing. That we were talking about earlier. Very good idea. 3, randomly inserted into boosters. Toss 1 in every other booster or in each booster. That might be a little bit too much, but I think 1 per brick would be totally fine. If they are able to start getting them out in more plentiful ways, then they can truly keep getting more and more creative with them, in my opinion. Bystanders, generic equipment, terrain markers, whatever, just get them in the hands of players. WizKids doesn't gain anything from these Pogs being $100, so just toss them out like crazy. The player base will thank you for it. Side note, I've seen a call to make bystanders break theme without proper keywords. Totally against that in every way. They don't get played enough to push them out of the play even more. Jason Calfee, it's trash. They need to go back to dice and token pack style for most bystanders. I'm okay with a couple being exclusive to the chase boosters. Joe Gutierrez, it's awful. It wasn't so bad with next phase where the bystanders were, other than Flaming Tuba, characters in the set as bystanders and only okay at best. And Flaming Tuba wasn't a long-standing comics character. What we've gotten in Deadpool, Wolverine and Black Panther is a different matter entirely. We're getting Pogs of tons of never-before-made characters The Mutant Liberation Front, also what we were just talking about. Yukio. So many Wakandans, insanely good Pogs, Timebreaker, Weasel, and then costed versions of generated bystanders. I can't even use the Chewie out of the Black Panther chase booster with Fury because the bystander has a point cost. So who wanted any of this? Or who wanted any of this? If they're going to continue with the chase booster bystanders, WizKids need to tone down the dial quality significantly and not do costed versions of unclicked characters. If they're going to be versions of generated bystanders, they also need to match what's generated. Yes, that would be a good idea. Also, maybe just put a non-costed picture on the other side.
Well, it's tough because Chewie has
Also,
a trait.
yeah, they have traits. That's right. Okay.
So, or Goose has a trait. Sorry, so it's like yeah.
All right. Well, that was a lot of opinions on that one. What?
You can still use it with Nick Fury. You can use anything to represent it. So even if it has a point cost, you can still use Goose with Nick Fury.
Yeah, I think the big thing is just tell your opponent that it's not worth anything when you generate it, and I think it's fine to use them.
Yeah.
That's what I would do at least. We talked a lot about that. Did you guys have anything to add about ways to improve it beyond what we've already discussed?
No, I'm good with what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
All right, Miles, bring us into the best play-at-home kits of 2024.
So we have 44 votes. With we had Next Phase had She-Hulk and Yelena. Deadpool Weapon X had Multiple Man and Deadpool and Wolverine. Massive Time had Batman and Detective Chimp, and Black Panther had Black Panther and Killmonger and Shuri and Claw. Taking number one with 20% was the Multiple Man. Or no, it's not. Massive Time Batman was 36%. Massive Time Detective Chimp with 31%, and Multiple Man at 20%. With Shuri at 9%, followed up with Yelena at 2%, and She-Hulk and Deadpool Wolverine at 1%. No one wanted Black Panther and Killmonger, which surprised me. But
I would have put them above Deadpool and Wolverine for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, they're better than them.
What was your vote, though, Miles?
I think the Massive Time, my vote would have been Detective Chimp.
Yeah, I know you like that figure a lot.
I love me some Detective Chimp. I love the character itself. I can give anybody a history lesson on Detective Chimp, Bobo Teep Chimpanzee, as his name is.
He's been getting some play around here, the play-at-home Detective Chimp, for sure. He's good.
I think we just saw him in Mystical, right? Somebody played him. Was it Looper? I think?
Looper played him, yeah. Jeremy's been playing him a few times, I think, at local, too.
Oh yeah.
I went with the Massive Time Batman. That piece is, I think, just the best actual piece that you can get out of a play-at-home kit, and it just adds to the other Batman, and what he does is super powerful. Pete, what did you pick?
I went with Detective Chimp. Also, 35 points for all that's amazing.
All right. And Dan?
The Shuri Claw, because Shuri's amazing.
Yeah, she's pretty good in that one, too. What is next here? Dan, do you want to go to best equipment?
Yes. So best equipment was the Trophy, the Broadsword Construct, the Next Phase Trick Arrows, Masters of Time Trick Arrows, the Bag of Holding, and the Peacemaker's Helmet. We had 68 votes. The Masters of Time Trick Arrows took it. I think this is recency bias. I'm just going to throw that out there. Followed by Next Phase Trick Arrows, and then the Broadsword Construct last. Bag of Holding, sorry, Peacemaker's Helmet actually beat out Bag of Holding, and then coming in last was the Trophy.
What did you pick?
Mine would have been Next Phase Trick Arrows.
The Next Phase Trick Arrows? Honestly, I think we need equipment so badly. Rotation took so much away, and Collector's Trove can't come soon enough. But as far as what was released in 2024, I really think it was the Masters of Time Trick Arrows, and for the Nth Metal alone.
I think that's literally what people are going to is, oh, well, the Nth Metal's in there. So, but I still think Too Dangerous, Big, and some of the other arrows from Next Phase are still just as powerful.
Yeah, they're still great for sure. Miles, what did you pick?
Yeah, I went with Massive Times Trick Arrow just because of that and the Phantom Zone. It's amazing when they bring their figure and then you're able to like just
Put it back.
send their best figure back to their starting area and then
You
kill
go
the
back to the
support.
starting area.
The broadsword construct was a really close second for me, though. I really love that equipment. I think it makes so many Green Lanterns great, especially like if you put it on Chip, who already generates everything.
Right.
It makes him that much more of a threat because like usually it's like, oh, he's a 10 for 2, but like when you're now giving him a 6 range blades, like he can now put in damage.
I have a feeling that thing's gonna be pretty crazy when Lantern Legacy set comes out next year. It's gonna go. The worth of that one's gonna go up a lot.
It's just a solid. It's just a solid equipment. Like I put that on, what's it called?
I mean, blades plus 1 defense, not bad for 10 points.
Yeah, I'm sure there's got to be like a support one with a decent attack but low damage. So great for him.
Yep.
Pete, what about you? Favorite equipment in 2024?
The broadsword construct. 10 points. You get +1 to defense. I like to modify stats if anybody's ever played against me. Anything that packs that into a keyword or something is something that I keep in my mind. And it's just great with the Green Lantern Corps keyword. And so anything you saw with Green Lantern Corps, your automatic thought was, well, that's not actually what that defense number is. It's going to be +1 for no cost. So I just thought it was... that would have been my choice. I think the arrows both are great. The 2 sets of arrows, I would have preferred Next Wave over Masters of Time, but that's like splitting like 1 in like...
It's
or like
close.
2 and 2A. Yeah, so... Yeah, I like the broadsword a lot.
All right, that'll bring us to the best generic keyword of 2024.
Best generic keyword of 2024. We had multiple votes on this, and I'm not going to read everybody's vote individually because that feels like a lot. But essentially, we had 6 for past, 5 for assassin, 5 for mystical, 4 for monster, 4 for animal, and 3 for scientist. I would personally say mystical. What do you guys think?
I loved assassins, but I think ruler was honestly the best. I didn't realize my mic was muted there. Splitting this one into modern and silver, I think for next year would probably be a good idea though, because I think that coming right out of silver, there's definitely some bias there. But I think ruler just with Colossus alone made that generic keyword pretty good.
I don't think there was a ton of ruler votes.
No, there wasn't. I only
Aquaman
got 3.
More so than. I went past. Past is even in silver because you have Latveria cheat with past, but politician's right behind it.
It gets stronger.
I feel like I'm way over in left field compared to everybody. I went warrior. Yeesh.
Warrior got stronger too.
Warrior's a great keyword.
No, I know. I think it got the shot in the arm it needed for modern to be like an actual competitive keyword with Black Panther.
Yeah,
Miles, I have a question. Miles.
Yeah. What you got?
Where did politician place at Worlds?
Top 32.
There we go.
Yeah. That was last year. It's expected to get higher this year.
Is it getting into
I've
pilot?
been told. I'm not quite sure. Maybe the old plane might be getting some new fittings, so the plane might be playing like a new player. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Best named keyword of 20.
I have another question.
Okay.
How many of the best generic keywords did Kong not hit on?
Oh, jeez.
Just asking questions.
I mean, he only hit 1, 2, 3 of those technically, right? From the
he should have had
animal, monster, mystical, and ruler.
He also should have had brute, and he should have had.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I only saw the ones that were listed on the top votes. Sorry, but yes,
he should have had scientist too. Like he should have had scientist.
Well, I don't know about that one.
What? He should have had next wave.
He had to fight dinosaurs by himself, so he had to remedy it. So he was mixing them plants to heal him.
He should have been a politician. He should have been a politician for sure.
He was a king.
Yeah, he 100% should have been a politician.
right. What was the best named keyword in 2024? Jasper Vincent Alantaga, X-Men. Austin Murray, Avengers. Ethan Davis, Avengers. Garrett Schnathorst, Thunderbolts. Got quite a boost with that keyword cheating. I look forward to building more with it when the Collector's Trove Juggernaut comes out.
Wait. So I'm confused. Are we counting only the keyword on the card, or where are we
I'm
sitting on
reading answers that people gave us, and then I'm going to do a nice little recap of the top ones at the end. Spoiler alert,
Gotcha.
this is the only Thunderbolts vote that we got. Ryan Harris got Time Stealers, Peter Marshfield, Spider-Man Family, Always Will Be. I don't think Spider-Man Family was super strong this year. I'm sure...
We only got like a couple. Like it was Miles, and we got the Hellfire Gala Spidey, and he's not good. So there wasn't much this
Great.
year.
If you love,
Leave
like Cap, you love that Spider-Man alone. You know, you love him.
Peter alone. He just likes Spider-Man Family.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to be great after the next set comes out, but currently 2024 was not their year. Justin, Prime Spidey at Worlds maybe a little bit. Justin Nichols, X-Men, Calder Ness, Avengers, Konstantin Savitsky, Camelot, Nico Taborda, Avengers, Andrew Coviello chose Ruler, and then said that named generic keywords were retired. They do still put them on the card in order, so it's still a thing, even though it's not an official thing. We did look it up in the rule book. They aren't acknowledging it anymore. Apocalypse was his named one, though. And then Matthew Prignano going with Ruler, not understanding the assignment also. Dylan Casabam, Avengers. Carl Harry Jr., X-Men. McConnell Lamar, X-Men. Luminati, Wakanda. Joe Gutierrez, Justice League. Wes Robertson, Avengers. Ryan Bookwood, Politician, again not understanding the assignment. And then Rob Peterson with Wakanda. Huh?
Bookwood just can't read. That's Bookwood.
What did you guys go with? I went with Wakanda. I think it got so good from Black Panther.
Time Stealers.
Time Stealers.
I mean, Time Stealers is good.
Yes.
Harrison Miles are on the wave. They know what's up.
With
so.
the keyword cheating and all that?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, the keyword cheating allows it to get that much better. It's really cool is because Time Stealers can now have Red Wing and Falcon, so they get all the bystanders to keep alive.
Okay.
Which is amazing.
What did you vote for, Dan?
Hold on a second.
Wakanda forever!
There you go.
Okay. Not bad. Pete, what did you vote for?
Wakanda forever!
All right, that's 3 Wakandas. Miles, want to bring us into the best CUR of 2024?
Yes, the best CUR, once we get here, where's the cur right here? We have Marvel Studios with 45 votes. We have Marvel Studios with 4%, Deadpool Weapon X with 14%, as well as Black Panther with 14%. And blowing everything out of the water with 68% of the votes, Masters of Time. And I don't even think it's close. I think it should have even had more. I don't think the cur of any set that came out this year is even close to Masters of Time.
Yeah, I think the rares are really what sealed it, is that even the least good one is still pretty good in Nighthawk. That was before we were recording that we were talking about that, yeah.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, he was. Miles was like, hey, Nighthawk's not even terrible.
Yeah, Nighthawk was literally the worst of the rares, and he's still better than most rares of the other sets.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that all of us voted Masters of Time.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Dan?
Did you go with Black Panther, Dan?
As much as I want to, I will acknowledge the fact that Masters of Time was just purely better. If I'm taking out my biases, Masters of Time was clearly the better cur.
Now I think my favorite rares were in Black Panther because Ironheart and Spider-Man are incredibly fun to play. But as far as just the best CUR of the year, I think Masters of Time took it.
Ares is also
See,
an amazing
for
rare.
that is
So.
that, yeah, we had Etrigan as a rare. Like, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, Masters of Time just, it's,
Oh yeah, no, they
it's
knocked
even
it out of
harder.
the park. Like it was
Uh,
great.
I think the worst rare is probably Flash. I think he's overcosted for what he does, and I just don't think that he's as good as some people tout him to be.
Like he's
Anyone in
interesting.
particular?
Yeah, he definitely is overcosted.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Westpool. Yeah, Westpool. I think he's overrated. I'd rather pay. I'd pay 70 points for Supergirl
Yeah,
all day.
her for 70. She's making the team every time.
I think Black Beetle is actually a better piece than the Flash, and I think Black Beetle is one of the most underrated pieces right now, even in modern. The ability to, especially him and Perdegaton, for 95 points, you're able to rearrange not only your opponent's character, but their terrain as well. Especially with stuff like the herb that people are now doing, you also get to rearrange their barrel if they decide to play it, or the phone booth, so then you can put it closer to your side, so now you get a benefit from it, or destroy it, such as for the barrel or the herb.
That's
I
not
think
bad, actually.
is really good.
No,
I
but
think that he's an underrated attacker as well.
Does that mean you can
if
just,
you
you can
actually
just
look
blow up the stuff, right? You could just place it on your side
Yeah.
of the map, then, couldn't you?
Yeah. Plus, he has enhancement and empower. Adjacent friendly characters modify their attack +1. He is a great attacker himself. And then you get to generate a free 5-point terrain marker, which includes a barrel. So you get a free barrel on your team, essentially.
And yeah, he's got a higher range than
Or-
most characters too. At 6 with 2 targets, like
cool
he's
thing,
actually
too,
not
is
bad.
like, there's a lot of things that you don't want to start far away from you, like the herb. So you just generate the herb, and it's right there next to him, or
Yeah.
and he can be placed next to whoever you want to grab that herb instead of having to break first turn immunity.
Yeah.
I said he was good when we reviewed him because he just terrain's so important on the small maps.
Yeah, it is.
So if you can impact that element, and you're somebody like me that hates to have to shoot through anything other than bushes, like you're pretty happy. So I don't know. The CUR though is for sure Masters of Time. It's just phenomenal.
That Flash
There's-
is still a
there's
cool representation of Flash too.
Yeah, there's nothing in the rares that you're up like Nighthawk. You're like, but he's still 40 points, 6 clicks, and is a great
Yeah.
attacker.
And can possibly hit twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that set design was amazing for CUR.
Yep. No, it was really good. So.
Dan, do you want to bring us to the favorite Prime sets?
Yes, so we got 43 votes, so our choices were Next Phase, Deadpool Weapon X, Masters of Time, and Black Panther. So the overall winner was Masters of Time with, let's see, hold on a second, 24 votes for about 50, over 50% of the vote. Then followed up by Deadpool Weapon X, and then Black Panther, and then finally was Marvel Studios' Next Phase. Yeah, I mean, it shows. I mean, the primes from Master Time were really good. Like, your weakest one was probably Etrigan, and that's saying something because he's still a good figure.
Yeah, I think the other ones just had a weak one here or there, whereas I think the weakest one of Masters of Time is still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I also voted for Masters of Time. Well,
Yep.
Miles, what about you?
Yeah, Masters of Time. I actually, having tested Etrigan, I actually think Madame Xanadu is the weakest of the primes.
Is she?
You still like her a lot though, too,
bad.
right? To be clear.
I did, yeah, no, I've tested both. Yes, I've tested both, and Etrigan has tested crazy good coming off the sideline for figures other than just Etrigan. So
Is she
yeah,
really?
I've had a lot.
She's such a good support piece for 30 points.
I don't think Miles, you're
no,
not
I
saying she's
understand
bad, right? You like Etrigan
No,
more
no,
now.
I'm not saying no. I'm just that's how strong this prime set is that because I've tested Etrigan several times, and that's why I think Etrigan's actually better, and I think she's the weakest of the primes, and that's still out of the 5 primes. It's gonna be hard pressed to find a set any set with 5 primes anywhere near the level of Masters of Time. Like Masters of Time, their only weak spot was, and luckily they made up for it with all the dinosaurs, was the chases.
Yeah.
They had a lot of depth for chases. And I think that's because they went all in on a keyword that honestly is overrated, and the fan base just isn't that great. That's Kryptonians.
Pete, what about you? Favorite Prime set?
Masters of Time.
Okay.
There's not one that you pulled and you weren't happy to get. Even Madame Xanadu, who's not like great, she's still amazing support.
I still need to get one actually, a Madame Xanadu. I don't have either. I did not pull well with the super rares. I have like 7 Rip Hunters though. If anyone wants to trade a Rip Hunter for a Madame Xanadu.
I do actually need the space, but let me see what I got.
Dude, I pulled that guy so many times. All right, that was favorite Prime set. Dan, did you vote also on that one, or did you say what yours was?
I'm gonna like throw my personal bias aside. Masters of Time was just clearly like best Prime set.
Pete, Peace Hoping gets made in 2025.
Yes, we got a bunch of comments on this. So we will start at the top with Sam Phoenix. Larfleeza can absorb KO opposing characters into his core, also with the reveal of a shifting focus absorbing man, hoping for a new Titania. Austin said Fallen One from When Thanos Wins the Future. Ethan Davis, the D&D ones. And Chip, Austin voted again. Chasm. Carrie Sampson said, with the Old West and Time era themes, I just knew we really like to get a new Superman supporting character, Marilyn Moonlight in Masters of Time, but alas, so maybe as an LE perhaps.
She looks
and
cool.
He included
a picture. Yeah.
Yeah, he included a picture. So, Carrie going above and beyond. Wes Robertson, besides Aquamiles, a meta Deadpool. Matt Groenheid says we need modern-sized versions of many of the members of the Bat family. Oracle, Red Hood, any iteration of Stephanie Brown, Batgirl, Spoiler Robin, any iteration of Cassandra Cain, Batgirl Orphan, Tim Drake, etc. Less Bruce Wayne, more sidekicks. Andrew Coviello says with the inclusion of gods, it'd be fun and silly to see an 11-click 300-point Perpetua. And he replied to himself, well, let's get a 4-click meta-present sideline piece 2, maybe it's an Ultra Chase. Rob Peterson, no relation. The end of 20 years of run and gun Silver Surfers. A multiple man actually uses one of his less used abilities, the ability to duplicate things he's holding or wearing. Could be a fun way to do stupid things with equipment. Nick Ballou, a Nightcrawler with access to BAMPs. That would actually be pretty fun.
Yes.
Anthony Barnes-Table said, I will always hope for an Eagle.
As I don't know if you're familiar with, I'm sure I know Pete is, the 1980s miniseries of Nightcrawler where he is a pirate and the BAMPs are the little creatures. That's what he's referring to with BAMPs.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he's not saying like the teleport Redman. It's like little mini hymns.
Oh, I didn't. I thought he was actually talking about like the.
No,
I did not realize that.
We do need a crazy good Nightcrawler though.
Yeah, I agree. Anthony Barnstable said, I always hope for an Ego, the living planet with a giant planet-shaped sculpt, preferably with an archenemy of Galactus mechanic. Hey, if we can get Mogo, sure we can get Ego too, right? Ben Groenheid says, the thing from his Unlimited class wrestling run, I love it. Jason Calfee says, Jeff the Landshark with the Venom symbiote, a new Betsy Braddock and Rachel Summers and Quanon. Peter Marshfield, Spidey Rex, wait, we know that's coming, Legacy Lantern Entities. Sean Booty says, Batmiter, Mr. Mickaplick. Edward K., Orca the Killer Whale, Namor villain. Later turned life around and worked for Heroes for Hire. Garrett says, would love a What If set based on the Disney Plus series. There are so many characters that need to get made from that show. Also, already mentioned it before, X-Men 97 Gambit in the white suit on a motorcycle. A trick to allow the motorcycle to save someone, and a stop click that goes boom. Name's Gambit, remember it. Ryan Harris, Parallax, Barry Allen. Oh, man.
That's very on brand for Harris.
Carl Hillary Jr., Deathlock, Michael Collins or Deathlocket, Calder Ness, Yellow Lantern, Guy Gardner. William DeRocher, Red Lantern, Supergirl. Justin Nichols, Old Man Peter Quill. Manny Kinks, Necro from the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern series. Also crossing my fingers for Major Fourth with Special Refrigerator Pog. Nicely done. Nicely done. James Jr., Anti-Venom, Gwenpool, any legacy card for any Venom or Colossal Venom T-Rex. Go ahead, Miles.
No, so good. No, the refrigerator, I think that we should have that just like the phone booth.
Just like the phone booth.
McConnell Lamar, a full-fledged Naruto set with colossal boosters. And Constantine says Miracle Man, question mark. Marvel Man Prime was the response from Joe G, and then why not? And then finally, Joe G, Green Man. You guys are right on top of it. The Green Lantern, just to confuse everyone.
About time.
Yeah. What piece are you hoping gets made next year, Daniel?
You got to start with me? Okay, I guess that's fair. I'm going to throw it back because these pieces were never made in either Mighty Thor or, which is the set they were actually in the storyline for, or they didn't get made through War Realms, which was either War Thor, which is Volstagg with the Ultimate Universe Hammer, where he went a little insane, and or Cinder, the daughter of Surtur.
That would be cool. I'm still waiting for just like an amazing Venom, and then also I want just a similarly just awesome Gambit. But my number one pick was going to be Vox riding Juggernaut as the what is it? His
Spirit of Variance.
Yes. Yeah, where he's Steed. That's the word I was looking for. That was such a cool panel, and was my number one want in Wheels of Vengeance, and so I'm still hoping that gets made. It probably has to be a Khan Ali, but that sculpt will be sick if they make that one. Miles, what was yours?
Yeah, I just sent it to our group chat. This is with Smash and Destroy coming. We've had, a thing has to be involved, but it needs to be a thing that we have never got, and I want to get the over-evolved pineapple thing. So he is radiated for even more, with more radiation, and he's lovely known during the 80s. John Byrne's run is pineapple thing. It was the one time where he was actually able to beat Hulk. Now, granted, Hulk was in his Mr. Fix-It persona at the time, so there's that. But yeah, this is the strongest thing has ever been, and I would love me some pineapple thing.
He does look pretty neat. Pete, what was yours?
I'm just really hoping for more sexy clicks.
That's a side purchase.
Oh, all right. So I guess I have to pick a piece. Well, I'm getting my Gauntlet Panther finally again, even though it's not the one I wanted. So I'm okay with that.
I mean, he's still the Pete piece. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's Pete in a piece right there.
So every other year I go through, like, one year I'll get like the Marvel read online thing, and then one year I'll get the DC read online thing, and so this has been a very DC year for me. So I've been kind of going back down and rereading DC things, and I really need a good Mr. Terrific.
That's true. They always make Barda, right? But they never make him. Or am I?
No.
I'm sorry. That's Mr. Miracle.
That's Mr. Miracle.
Sorry,
Mr. Terrific. It's what I need. That's what I need back in my life.
He's going to be in the new Superman movie, right?
He is. Very excited.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
That's right.
Yeah, whenever they do that, he'll probably be in the next DC set then. If not next year,
I would also take a Mr. Miracle too, now that Dan brought it up. But they're different people.
I apologize. It was the Mr. there that threw me off.
As you should, Dan. Okay? As you should.
Hey, they haven't made Mr. Terrific since Rebirth, so I get it. He hasn't been made in a hot minute.
Leading that into Iconics, or what Iconics set do you want to see released in 2025? We had 42 comments on this one. James Yant Jr., first cover appearance of Venom. That would be a cool one. Austin Murray, first appearance Superman with the car and everything. That's the one they should have made before the Up and Away one, I think. Samuel Phoenix, Batgirl Year 1 with Firefly and Killer Moth. Austin Murray, Hunter Prey, Superman, and Doomsday. Brandon Hogan, Rune Thor would be awesome. It would have to be the most meta piece, though. What is Rune Thor, Dan?
What is he? He's not like an Ultimate Timeline Thor.
Not
he's
sounding
just a
like a
very
Thor fan.
Not too confident here, young Daniel.
I didn't like Rune Thor, so I hardly paid attention to him.
Yes, Rune Thor is the Thor, like what Pineapple Thing is the Thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very niche section of the most powerful version, essentially, of Thor.
Okay.
Can be Rune Thor.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. Like it's like they made Thor into Superman, and I'm just like boring.
Super Saiyan 4 Thor. That's who it is.
Yeah.
Okay. William Dayrocker, instead of picking an obvious answer, Iliad and the Odyssey iconics. WizKids wouldn't need licensing, and I think the sculpts would look sick on a map. Plus, so much dolphin symbol. Triso, De Leon, Cobain, Street Fighter comeback. Even just 4 or 5 of the original SNES cast would be fine. Yeah, that would be a cool one. Because the old ones, I've tried to take them out and looked at them so many times, and you just cannot put them on the board.
No, they're so cool
here,
looking.
I found who Rune Thor is, Rune King Thor. It said when Thor went on a journey to sacrifice to gain the knowledge of the past and ancient runes to prevent the Ragnarok cycle. And then he emerged as Rune King Thor that was able to wield the Odin Force and rune magic.
Okay. Justin Nichols, a She-Hulk and Matt Murdock duo set where they're both in their lawyer attire. Call it Courtroom Justice Iconics. Ryan Harris, the other 6 members of the Endless, excluding Dream. Aaron Morgan, Starro Kobe. Who's that?
That's the one with the helmet. I'm pretty sure I think
that guy looks awesome.
Yes, that's who Starro took control of for a while, and then who essentially became Starro, because he was able to like fight off the
main star for the main.
Yeah, he's able to fight off the hive mind of Starro and was able to have his own mind.
Okay. 8-bit versions of the Marvel video games and Power Rangers. Power Rangers could actually be a really cool one. Sean
It's
Booty.
just like which do you just do the classics? Is that what I'm thinking?
What's that?
Do you just do the classic? Because there's been so many versions of Power Rangers. I'm assuming you just do.
I mean,
the
honestly,
original
I only know the classics that came out in, was that the early 70s, mid 70s? Not
I thought it
70s,
was
90s.
80s.
No, it was 90s. I didn't
Oh.
mean 70s. I meant 90s. Or maybe it was like 97 or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it originally came out in the. No, I thought you were talking about Super Sentai. You're talking about like what became Power Rangers. Definitely did come out in the 70s. But yes, the Zentai Rangers, Zoo Rangers, yes, was from the early 90s.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
yeah. I thought that's where they were.
And then
Super Sentai Zoo Rangers.
okay. Sean Booty, Jack Kirby collection. Ricky Prignano, The Boys and the Seven. That's one that needs to get made really soon. Peter Marshfield, The Gelatinous Cube with Illithid. Keep cashing it in on that Dungeons and Dragons
It's
Baldur's Gate 3 high.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I think that's D&D related.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Konstantin Savitsky, Planetary or The Endless. Damian Matthew Berth, Return of Indie Clix. Dan Schwab, who is going with God of War or Witcher. I guess that's probably your vote then.
Yes, sir.
Nico Taborda, Knight of the Zodiac, Dragon Ball Z, and Star Wars. Paul Cote, The Quinn Jetta. I'm not familiar with that one. What's that one?
I'm assuming they meant Quinjet.
The Quinn Jetta?
Like the Avengers, the Avengers Quinjet.
Miles, do you have any idea?
So the Quinn Jetta is a modified Volkswagen Jetta used by the Great Lakes Avengers.
Okay.
Oh, I did not know that. That's awesome.
Glad you looked that up. Mork Bird, Gargoyles, Gummy Bears, and Brightburn. I'm all for any of those earlier cartoons. Brightburn would be cool too, though.
I don't know what Brightburn is.
That was the bad Superman. They made a movie of it, at least.
Yeah, the horror Superman movie.
Where he was a kid.
Okay.
Jason Calfee, Red Hood and the Outlaws in Christmas costumes. Matt Prignano, John Wick. That would be a cool one. Jeremy Talernick, Ghostbusters. That would be another good one. Wes Robertson, Children of Martha Iconics. Batman, Superman. Anyone in comics whose mom's name is Martha. That would be a good one, too. Illuminati, Star Wars. Star Wars would fit right in, honestly.
Well, considering the mouse owns the rights, that's never not a possibility, I guess.
I think the biggest thing is the rights to a mini game belong somewhere else.
Yeah, I think
But
that's probably
who knows
true.
when that goes away. The classic Universal monsters, even just the public domain versions of Dracula, Frankenstein, The Bride, The Mummy, Wolfman, Invisible Man, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Garrett Schnathorst, Mortal Kombat, Stargate, SG-1, more D&D. So mine is also Mortal Kombat, and I feel like Garrett and I are on the same wavelength with a lot of stuff. Joe Gutierrez, the original Authority. It's been over a decade. They're about to get some time in the spotlight again. Make them all good this time, especially Midnighter. X-Men Outback Team or Maximum Carnage. I'd like both of those for sure. Rob Peterson, Steven Universe. What's the Steven Universe?
That's a newer cartoon.
Okay.
Crappy cartoon.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's just not great.
I haven't heard of it yet. Wes Robertson, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. Maybe that'll get us our meta Deadpool. McConnell Lamar, Thundercats. I'm all for any 80s property getting made. I'm all for Thundercats.
That's another good one.
And then Andrew Coviello with Dragon Ball. So I think that one would do great. There's a ton of fans of Dragon Ball that play. Like I said, though, I did go Mortal Kombat. And then, Dan, we went over yours as well.
Okay. Well, so I was thinking Street Fighter was like my first answer because like the initial set was just it's tough to want to field it, and I really enjoyed those movies when I was younger. And then I was like, oh, I saw someone pick that, so I switched to something else. So I think God of War or Witcher would be a great like thing to pull from. You have so many characters that you can pull in as like a mini little iconic set. So.
Oh yeah, that would be an easy make. Miles, what was yours?
So see, Thundercats was brought up, and that was the Careers of Thundercats. Like that was like their first project, and so I think overrated. Silverhawks is definitely going to be right up there for me as my honorable mention, especially with Copper Kid. It teaches you about space. Amazing. Silverhawks is amazing. Best 80s theme song ever. But I'm going to go with Just Imagine Stan Lee DC Universe. We're probably never going to get to see that as a chase set, and so it'd be real cool to just have that as an iconic set.
Okay. Pete, what about you?
Somebody said it, Planetary. They were made in Elseworlds. They're one of my favorite limited series of all times. If you haven't read it, I recommend you read it. It's just great. It's Warren Ellis at his finest. I would love to see that come back as an iconic set.
All right. That's those guys that used to play it a lot, right?
Yeah, I'll still try them out occasionally. They just go down so fast now. But it's just a wildly enjoyable story. It's a like a love story to comics, is what it is. An homage between some kind of pseudo Marvel characters show up, and it's just Warren Ellis just writing just Warren Ellis things. So it's just phenomenal.
Well, maybe we're due for them then.
That'd be cool to have them back because they released as like was it all Elseworlds?
Yeah, it was all Elseworlds. Elijah Snow was probably the most known of the pieces because I know he had like a little impact in the meta because of things. But all of the pieces they play well together. They're fun.
That was actually a piece I was hoping to see in silver. Elijah Snow.
Yeah,
and then the interesting thing was I sought those pieces out because we had started playing after Elseworlds was out, and I just loved the comics so much that I got them all. And then they released the Con Le of Ambrose Chase afterwards. So, yeah.
Yeah, when we first started playing, that team gave me some problems, so I definitely enjoy smashing them now that they can't compete as much.
Man.
But they did really well when we first started playing. They were very frustrating to play against. All right, Miles, best chase sets.
Yes, so we had a total of 43 votes. Taking first place is Deadpool Weapon X at 47%. Second place is Marvel Studios' Next Phase at 21%. Right behind them at 20% is Masters of Time, and at 12% is Black Panther. I gotta say they got this completely wrong. Masters of Time needs to drop to well below 4%. None. Just none. Masters of Time had not including the dinosaurs, had one of the most lackluster chase sets since War of the Realms.
Yeah, I would have definitely put them fourth out of the 4 sets that released. But I don't know. I'm surprised that Marvel or Next Phase was up there too. They had the 3 gods, but
Well, you
beyond
have a
that,
Yeah, so beyond that, there really wasn't anything. Like, yeah, the gods were great, but like,
they have some. They also have some. Kevin's great.
Yeah,
Besides a lot
She-Hulk.
of fiasco, but everyone has him now. You have She-Hulk. I think Kate and Lucky is extremely good. Kate and Lucky is exactly like pretty much the Deadpool Weapon X Elsa, but instead of Jeff, you're getting Lucky. I think she's underplayed, but you do have Zemo. So
yes, you do.
there
have
is
Zemo.
that.
Unless
But
you traded him in for a
I
Kevin.
would rather pull it. Yeah, I would rather have a Zemo or Steve than what's 4 of the Masters of Time 6 chases or whatever it is.
Yeah, there were some rough ones.
Yeah.
I think Deadpool Weapon X definitely the obvious winner there. That's what I voted for. What did you guys vote for?
Yeah, I voted for Deadpool Weapon X too. Next Phase is real close though for me. It was a lot closer than what this vote is. Just because not only do you have the gods, but like I said, Kate and Lucky. I think Kate and Lucky is an underplayed chase. Bringing in that Lucky to make the pizza objects is extremely good.
What would your order then be?
Deadpool, Weapon X, Next Phase, Black Panther, and then I'm not even ranking Masters of Time.
Okay.
Wait. We can't discount Bardley Quinn, Green Man.
Well, that's fine. I'll discount them.
Because they don't make up for the rest of them.
I mean, that's fair. I just figured they
No,
were good
when you
enough
have
that it
Green
helped
Man,
offset all the
just-
other stuff.
It offsets it. The worst chase of the year. I'll say it right there. The worst chase of the year is Prince Kal-El.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
And that includes Zemo.
That includes Zemo. Dan, what about you? What would you place all 4 at?
I'm gonna die on the hill that Black Panther's the best, so I'm okay dying on the hill this time because that chase set's actually good.
Okay.
And
Okay,
then,
being
I would say probably Deadpool Weapon X, like a close second. Next Phase, and then Masters of Time. Although, like, I still think Master of Time still has some stuff just because of the other. Because you have King Jefferson, Green Man, and what's the other? What was it? What's
And
the other?
Harley.
And Harley, yeah. So like, it's not all bad.
No,
but
there's some cool
I get
stuff in
what-
there. I'm not gonna
get
bring
what
it
you're
down
saying.
as much as Miles is.
Yeah, like, I mean, I get it. I don't disagree, but I'm like, whew, that's really just tearing it down.
Pete, what's your 4?
Well,
Or the
even
order?
so,
Oh,
no matter how good Harley Quinn is, though, if you pull her as your chase, that's the only chase from that set. Like, it doesn't feel good.
I
That
like
was
her.
a chase from your brick.
Yeah.
I know she's good, but like that's your chase. It's like,
Yeah, she's not like, I don't know. A good support chase isn't always what you're looking for. You want something strong. I get it. Pete, what was your order for your favorite chase set?
I guess I'm dying on the hill with Dan. I'd go Black Panther and then Deadpool Weapon X, and then Masters of Time, and then Next Phase.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and even though there's stuff in all of them that I like though.
Yeah.
Like, so that's the thing. Like there was some duds. Like Prince Kal-El is not great. Dancing Zemo is
what
No.
got turned into a Kevin.
Is better three gods or Kevin.
No, see that's the thing. I forget the gods are in there. I don't know why I do that. So I'd probably have to move that up.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah. No, because Masters of Time is really like Bardley Quinn, and I don't know
Man.
And
the Green
Jefferson.
Man. Yeah, but how do they count the dinos?
Yeah, because they're
Something
because they
separate
have
that
the thing.
isn't chases.
Yeah.
It's not chases? Okay. So I honestly didn't know. So yeah, so then I'd move them up and put Masters of Time chases. But there's still good ones. There's like one really terrible one. But even Bat Prince and Kara Jor-El and Diana have all gotten play. So what are you
No, it's-
really
yeah.
mad at is just Prince Kal-El?
Bat Prince found his little
His niche.
trick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That-
you're not
that to
playing
me,
Bat Prince
Bat
for Bat Prince. You're playing
But if
him
you
to
look at him,
generate
like-
a Pog so you can kill the Pog.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But he still plays tie at events.
75-point piece. Like that's he's a 75-point Batman. That makes a 0-point Superman piece, and you're never going to use him.
No, you're
Like,
gonna
oh, he
immediately
got
murder. You're gonna immediately murder Dick, and then ramp up Cyborg Superman.
What
Yeah.
what? So Major Logan is not a chase, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna say there it is. So I was gonna say, what is it that everybody loves in Deadpool? But I
Well,
get so
you
confused
got-
because they were mismarked so much.
Well, you've got
I thought he was a
Wolverine.
super rare.
You've got Wolverine LCD. You've got Phoenix Wolverine. You've got Weapon X. You've got Zombie Wolverine. You've got Major Logan, Patch, Wolverine and Deadpool, Old Man Logan, Deadpool Hit Monkey.
Yeah,
Deadpool,
there you go. It's the Deadpool chases.
Yeah, for
Deadpool
sure.
Death. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all good. I mean, they're all the majority of them are good and playable. I think, right?
Some of
Old
them
Man
are
Logan
way
is a
more
little
playable.
rough, and Deadpool and
I would
Yeah.
say,
yeah.
what is it? Wolverine and She-Hulk, Old Man Logan, Deadpool Death, and Patch. Or,
But did
and
we have-
Wolverine-
Do we have equal number of chases in each set?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so some of that's contributing to the bias. Like when you have a set that has a ton of chases, you're going to allow for a couple of crappy ones.
If the dinos are counted, then of course Masters of Time is going to be way higher. But
Mhm.
They weirdly enough share the same color symbol, but they're not chases.
Yeah, I forget what they called them,
yeah, 'cause only-
but they're not.
Yeah, honestly, with the gods, that may be moving up to second.
I don't
Because
know.
they just make so many builds.
Yeah, but like the rest of the thing, like the Baby Groots are pretty good. She-Hulk is good now, especially like she's rotated in. But there was I guess overall like it's not that bad. It's just like I guess even Wong and Madison are pretty good too.
They're fun.
Yeah,
They're fun. I mean, Steve is fun.
yeah.
Dancing Zemo's not great.
No, he's bad.
So, yeah. All right. Well,
So what's
That
your
was a good
order?
question.
What's your order then?
so I got to go again. I would go Black Panther, and then I would probably go Next Phase and Deadpool Weapon X, just because the gods are just so incredible. And then Masters of Time.
Okay.
So you guys did change my mind completely, other than Black Panther. So.
Yeah, you changed quite a bit there.
Thanks for dying
Yeah.
on the hill with me, too.
Well, it's so funny because I don't know why I don't think of the gods as chases because they just don't really hit the board. I almost think of them as like they sit in my mind as like equipment.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. Like I've fielded the gods, but like they're just most of the time they just hit the sideline. It's like okay.
Yeah. So that's just my own. Now you got a great insight into how bad I am at team building too. There we go. Next.
But it also
I think
goes
I'm.
to show how bad Masters is with how great their current prime set was. To have that big of duds for
The chases.
chases was
I think I'm matching Miles with Deadpool Weapon X is my top one, then Black Panther. So I'm different. Never mind. So Deadpool Weapon X, Black Panther, Next Phase, and then Masters of Time at the bottom. All right, then favorite iconic set of 2024. Dan, you want to take that one?
Yes. Hold on, sorry. Like I scrolled to it and then. There we go. Sorry. So we have 8 choices. We have Harley Quinn, Roses for Red, Sherlock Holmes, Kong, Peacemaker on the Wings of Eagly, Peacemaker Project Butterfly, First Appearance Wolverine, Wakanda Hulkbuster, Trigon and Raven, Superman Up Up and Away, Beetlejuice, Eye of the Beholder, and First Appearance Spider-Man. With the majority of the vote is Kong at 31 votes and 27%, or sorry, 32 or 31% of the vote, 26 votes. We had a total of 81 votes total. Following up is Project Butterfly from Peacemaker, and then surprisingly, Superman Up Up and Away beats out the rest, and then they're all kind of middling. But our top 3 are Kong, Peacemaker, Project Butterfly, and Superman Up Up and Away.
What was yours, Dan?
Honestly, First Appearance Wolverine, because I play the pieces out of that set. I would think Project Butterfly if I'm just talking like pure playability of what I play, but I actually play the First Appearance Wolverine stuff. So
Yeah, that's a good set for sure. Miles, what about you?
It was easily Kong. I'm a Kong fanboy since I was a little kid, since at least 3 years old. So yeah, Kong.
I mean,
Okay.
who doesn't like
Okay.
giant monsters?
I went with the Peacemaker on the Wings of Eagly. As soon as I watched that show, I wanted an Eagly, and when they announced the Peacemaker set, I was so stoked. And then that Peacemaker in that box was pretty neat too. So
Who
that was
played
my favorite
Eagly
one.
for? Who played Eagly for Animal this year? Was
I
that you,
did.
Pete?
He got no. I
Oh,
I
you
played
did?
him and he got smashed. I don't remember who smashed him. I was so mad
I think it was
because
Pete.
I
I think
wanted.
it was
It
Pete
might
that
have been
smashed
Pete
him.
because I think he knew how much I wanted to keep him around. He did not have a good showing. He missed all of his attacks, I think. But yes, that's my pick.
I just remember Eagly hitting the board during Animal. I was like, I know he got played.
He hit the board and then he got knocked out pretty quick. Pete, what was your favorite iconic set?
I would say Project Butterfly. I just think getting both the Butterfly and Mern. I
In
mean,
that
that's
one,
just
yeah.
incredible. Yeah, and Kong is great too. I love Kong. I love two Kongs on the board at the same time, especially when I can throw them across the board. But I'm a simple man. But those that would be my one and two. And yes, I did smash Eagly because I knew how badly you wanted Eagly to do something.
I think I had something on him too. Didn't I put like Khonshu on him or something?
Oh, you did. You
I
tried to
invested
pip
in him
Eagly
really,
out,
really hard.
Yeah, you did. You invested in him quite a
and
bit.
he got smoked.
All right, do you want to bring us into
But
the favorite set, Pete?
yeah, favorite set of the year. We've got votes from last to first. Black Panther was 7%, Marvel Studios Next Phase 9%, Deadpool Weapon X 12%, Masters of Time overwhelmingly winning at 72%.
I'm trying to find that one.
Yeah, I had to scroll up. It's kind of in there.
All right. You sure you read the best set one?
Favorite set, right? What
Yeah.
was your favorite set of 2024? Yep,
Yeah, okay.
that's it.
All right, I'm not gonna go back and find it then because I know what mine is. So I actually did go with Deadpool Weapon X. I had the most fun with that set. But I think the majority is gonna be Masters of Time. What was yours, Pete?
Masters of Time. And I agree. Paul commented. There was only one comment. It said, "Masters of Time was good in all rarities," and despite some of the chases that weren't great, it was a very amazing set early, and with the Colossals was super fun and at least a passable set in the chases. Honestly,
Oh yeah, no, the chases could have been better. I just think them going all in on Kryptonian keyword was where they really lost me.
there's been sets where I have not bothered with chases way more than Masters of Time. So
Yeah, no,
Miles, what was your favorite set?
as since we use it in Team Sealed and I had so much fun, it's Masters of Time.
Good choice. What about you, Dan?
Black Panther followed up
I knew it.
shortly by
I was
Next
waiting
Phase.
for you to
Okay.
be the black sheep of the podcast.
I'm okay with that. So. It was tough because like I really loved Next Phase and what they did with Moon Knight and the Werewolf by Night stuff yeah. So I was really it was a tough call.
Next
But
phase is that really good and sealed for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just played it
But,
too much
yeah.
and got tired of it.
That's fair. But yeah, Black Panther's my favorite set. They jam packed like a bunch of really cool stuff. Seeing Wakanda get like just a really awesome like revival since ABPI is really cool. So
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff to like in the set. Next is, what was your favorite piece that released in 2024? So we had 28 comments on this one. Jasper Vincent Alantaga, Wolverine 060. That's the Phoenix one, right?
yes,
Yeah. James Yount Jr., Next Phase Elsa Bloodstone. Austin Murray, Ultra Chase Superman. Garrett Schnathorst, hard question, but the Phantom X Legacy has to be the most played for me. Derek Benendike, Timebreaker. Ben Groenheid, Next Phase Werewolf by Night. Matt Prignano, Prime Colossus. Nick Blue, Chaos King. Dylan Casabom, Green Man. Jay Carr, Perdegaton. Damon Matthew Birth, Mr. Immortal. Richard Zatlukel, Prime Colossus. Joe Gutierrez Kong. Calder Ness, Steve. Peter Marshfield, Najatka, Venom Killmonger, Carl Harry Jr., Deadpool Weapon X Psylocke, McConnell Lamar Reverse Flash, Adam Shiver John Constantine, Justin Nichols Next Phase Chase She-Hulk, Konstantin Savitsky John Constantine, Joe Ruffing Titania Next Phase. He had some good games with her, Titania.
Yeah.
Kari Sampson, Mine 2, referring to Titania from Next Phase. Ryan Harris, Black Lantern Swamp Thing. Edison Lee, Colossus Prime. Wes Robertson, Colossus Prime. Not even going with Deadpool, Wes. Rob Peterson.
I was ready, or Flash. Wow.
Or Flash. Rob Peterson, Ironheart from Black Panther. Ironheart's a ton of fun. Jay Solomon, Chase She-Hulk. She's been seeing a lot more play. And Joe Illuminati. Or no, not Joe. Just Illuminati, sorry. Delsa. What is that? Is that...
Deadpool and Elsa.
Oh, Deadpool and Elsa, okay. Yes, I've been playing them a
I'm
ton.
guessing...
They're great. I was thinking it was Prime Elsa, but yeah, they're a ton of fun. I've been playing them on most of my builds, actually. As far as mine goes, though, I went with Deadpool Weapon X Maverick. I've been waiting for them to make a Maverick for so long, and it's actually a pretty fun piece to play. So that was mine. Miles, what was yours?
I went with Masters of Time Swamp Thing, the non-prime, the regular super rare. I love the piece. I think Calder needs to reassess why Swamp Thing is a great character.
Who wins,
But,
Swamp
yeah,
Thing versus Steve?
I mean, how much prep time does Steve have?
They both have 20 minutes.
Okay, let's give Steve. Well, no, that's not fair. Like, let's go ahead and give Steve he has 6 years of prep time, and Swamp Thing just finds him. Swamp Thing. Doesn't matter how much prep time Steve has. Steve will never beat Swamp Thing.
Okay, that's what I was guessing. Dan, what was your favorite piece that was released in 2024?
This one's actually tough. I'm gonna go with Prime Etrigan. He hasn't been made in forever, and it was really awesome to see him get made again. And they did a really good job.
Yeah, do you remember how many years it's been? Because we were looking at him a while ago.
Way too many.
World's Finest.
It was World's Finest. I'm thinking that's almost a decade.
Yeah, that's 2013, early 2014.
Something like that, yeah.
And then, Pete, what was your favorite piece in 2024?
Not because of what he did in Silver, but Darkseid.
Really?
We talked about him. Yeah, we talked about him. We got lucky enough to pull the brick we wanted at Team Worlds. I had an unbelievable Team Worlds run playing him, and I just enjoy playing him. I like the one-man army. I like the here's my piece, there's your pieces, let's see who's standing at the end. And it's simple enough to where even an idiot like me can play it fairly efficiently. So yeah, Darkseid was by far my favorite. I played him on some Monday nights too. Not the walk around wall to death, attacking Darkseid, so yeah.
A good map to play him on too, for sure. Sealed, huh?
Yes, yeah. Yeah. And I had a couple of games. You and Clay both caused me some problems, Redmond. But eventually he did what he does, and he just murders things. So
Yeah. He's pretty strong and sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Miles, you want to take us to the next one?
The next one is, what would you like to see more of on the podcast?
In
Try loading
2025.
In 2025. We have 12 comments. Starting with Illuminati, he wants shenanigans. More first, a brief section on meta each episode, basically a figures to watch segment about what we're seeing more of, what to expect as competitive piece as a set releases. I know this filters across episodes, but just having this as a conscious section every episode helps for consistency. Rob Peterson, as much as he loves us, shorter episodes, it takes him a week to get through one episode, and by then you've released 3 more episodes.
Sorry, Rob, that's not going to be this episode.
Hey,
Yeah.
wait a second, Rob.
you didn't know?
Oh, that's the wrong one. Where is it? Damn it.
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Miles?
And then, no, that was it. Yeah, no, we only do an episode a week, so his weeks must be really, really long. See, and then we have Charles that says long episodes get him through the workday.
Yeah,
See?
Charles.
That's
Yeah.
what I like to hear. And then McConnell says he'd love to see player and venue highlights, talk to TOs in different venues about what their scene is like, interview players about the building ideology and thoughts on the game. I guess Tide to Tide kind of does that already. Tide to Tide does nothing of building ideologies and thoughts on the game. Tide to Tide is more of just telling people how much of an idiot they are. Wes Robertson says more guests on a regular basis besides just Aaron. We've already went through that. It's hard for us to really add anybody for the dynamic of us having 4 co-hosts. So,
But that's also what
unfortunately-
Tide to Tide is, and
Yeah, it's
the
what,
thing that Redmond did with the
player-
player. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to say that
Yeah.
we're gonna try to branch out a lot of this stuff into the YouTube channel in next year. So definitely keep an eye out for some of the other stuff that we're working on. But I definitely wanted to see some of the feedback we got from people.
I don't think we would
Garrett.
ever say no other guests, but it's like I said, the dynamic between us and then the dynamic with Aaron is very separate than what anything else, and it's already a 7.5 hour podcast once a week.
If you want to make it a full 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
Garrett says he'd like some team building episodes, more based on a specific keyword or keyword sheet, something to showcase different pieces and combos. Maybe specific team building techniques for iconic or popular other pieces. That's something I've actually been trying to look at and trying to work on that. Getting where I want, how I want it to look, actually look that way. Because that's really hard. Because I've recorded a few episodes like doing team building, and they just look like crap. And I'm not a cliX bad, so I'm not going to just post it.
Some of that stuff I think
Constantine.
is some of that stuff is worth putting up on YouTube, and some of that stuff I think we're going to try to do on the podcast. So yeah, both of those ideas.
The problem is if you do team building on the podcast, you have to listen to my shitty ideas. And nobody wants to do that.
But then if some people listen to your shitty ideas and it's similar to their shitty ideas, they're like, "Wow, I have a shitty idea," and then they can move on.
There you go.
Yeah, then Constantine finally says he'd like some strategic play. Our comments and reminders on how to deal with certain figures like Darkseid with terrain debris was really good and kind of anti-meta talk. And I feel like we do that already, but yeah, definitely it'd be nice to do more of that. The anti-meta talk and everything is, especially with the way that we think outside the box,
Right.
Be it a good way or not way. But it is something that it's just like we say, that is something you can do. So be it good or bad, we'll talk
Accurate.
I will agree with we do. There we go. Keep moving on.
Was that the end of that?
I believe so.
That was the last one, yes.
Okay. Good to know. And then, Dan, do you want to do favorite podcast segments?
Wait. Oh, sorry. I skipped down. My bad.
Yep,
Where's
it
the
was.
question? I was like thought it was Pete next, and I'm like, oh no.
No, young Daniel, even I'm paying attention tonight.
Of course, the one I'm looking for I can't actually find. Crap.
Wow, with an overwhelming 5 of 12.
Yeah,
Insane.
I was very surprised on this one. So
Oh, is this the wait? This is the segment one. Crap.
And
sorry.
one of you guys just read it, because clearly you could find it.
I apparently can't. No, I'm just dropping the ball today.
So we have 2 votes for Tide to Tide. There's been 12. The monthly report has 1. Listener's question has 1. Someone loves our intro. 2 for silver reviews, which was awesome to hear.
The intro is awesome.
The intro is awesome.
Yeah.
The intro does.
And then
slap.
we have 5 of 11, so nearly half, have decided that the best segment on Degeneration Clix podcast is trying to get the sound ready.
Failed.
Bookwood Report.
How?
I want to give everybody a behind the scenes look here. So we're kicking around ideas, and we make a joke always that we need more content, even though literally our podcasts are like 12 days long. And
Yeah.
I said, so what I'm going to do every week is whatever Bookwood buys, we're going to talk about on the podcast. And Redmond couldn't have been less enthusiastic about this idea. So for this to win the favorite segment is hilarious.
It's the best part.
I don't know
And the fact
how.
that it's involved in
That was amazing.
the fact that it's evolved into whoever smashed Bookwood that week.
I feel like that was at least my addition to it. If we're gonna have to listen to what he bought, I want to at least talk about who smashed him that week, and maybe even contributed to some of those purchases.
Dude, Bookwood is a man of the people. The people have spoken.
Yeah.
Hope to play you tomorrow, Bookwood.
Yeah.
I'm so happy about that winning segment.
I knew.
I would have personally said listener questions is always the most fun, but
Can we get a picture of Bookwood smiling, holding a book, so I can put it on a T-shirt that says the Bookwood Report?
oh, we can do it. We can make it happen.
He might make
What
it
is-
happen for you. I feel like, here you go.
Yeah,
I
you
wanted
might-
to have like you know those '90s pictures where it's like picture of them with the book, and then like just faded in the background is just a bigger picture of them.
What was that? What was it? Glamour? You went like straight glamour shots, Bookwood?
Glamour shots, yes.
Oh God!
Do you want to go into
So one of our listeners is good at Photoshop. They have to do it. What are your guys' favorite segments? I said listener questions. I took the easy way out.
listener questions for sure? But I just like going over our monthly games. As we've said before, that's what I think most of us look forward to every month. It's just always a ton of fun to get together and play that. So being able to recap that and talk about it is a lot of fun. Dan?
Do we count like a set review as a
Yeah.
Since you, okay, I guess that because it's interesting to hear everybody's different, because we all operate very differently in how we play. So it's very interesting to like see the gears turning as to like, oh, this is why I like this piece, or why I think this piece is like strategically good. So that for me is pretty neat to see.
No, set reviews are a lot
Can
of
we-
fun.
Can we just remember for next year to call this the year-end podcast? And Dan asked if there's rules to it 20,000 times. Dan, there's no rules. You can say whatever you want.
Just
Miles,
make up rules.
do you have a favorite segment?
No, not really. I just enjoy my time to get away from the family for a few hours. But I want to start talking about glamour shots for sure. I think that's something that is
Great.
because who doesn't want to sit in a wicker chair with M16? So,
All right.
Looks
Pete,
like my uncle.
do you want to bring us into the favorite episode of the year?
We got 7 comments for the favorite episode of the year. Austin said the favorite episode was when Aaron helped Pete build in silver.
That was good.
The first one I listened to, your CUR of Black Panther, was Rob Peterson. Wes Robertson said the episode after Red, White, and Clix when Oliver was on. McConnell Lamar said, I always love hearing the Silver Age talk with Aaron. I'll go with the one where he signed on to help Pete with Silver Age, so that's 2 votes for that. And Ben Groenheid, very fun to hear an outside opinion on the builds from my play group at Provincials and States. And we got Constantine, who said the Silver Age talk with Aaron was really good. So once again, Aaron is the most popular part of the podcast and not on tonight. And Joe Covioli says, I can't give an unbiased answer, or rather, I just don't.
so we're gonna have this big guest episode where it's just Aaron and Bookwood, and we just not even on it.
Could probably do
Well, and I think Radman probably loved titling that one because you got to type Pete sucks at silver. That was one of my favorite episodes, though, too. Because we really had no idea how well Aaron was going to work. Like, we knew Aaron a little bit, but, like, I had never talked to him until the podcast that day.
Right.
So he just fit in like just one of the crew, which was amazing.
I mean, I had a little bit of interaction with him at Champion Clix this year, and then at Worlds, and that was pretty much it. It was like, you know.
Yeah, that made for a really good one.
Yeah, it was fun though.
Dan, do you want to go to our favorite cliX synergy? This was one that you came up with, the topic, I think, right? I thought it was neat.
Yeah.
Did you actually find the subject this time, Dan?
Yes, I was actually. I tried to not fail twice. So so favorite click synergy. I initially in my head, which I didn't phrase properly. I thought of like at least one modern figure for this year, and then it could be like any other figure. But people just did which was fine. So I have Joseph Harrison has the ultimate finesse combo of Kazar Darkseid, JK. And then Arachnite and Ghost Rider for the unoutwittable senses, and then throw Madam Web in there for good measure.
Yeah.
I love that. I played a lot of that, so that was my combo going into Adepticon. Let's see. Ethan Davis is Steel Energy and Chthon. Also like really like Medicine with Ghost Rider, makes them target the Pog without wit, and then Rider says nuh-uh. Austin is Diana with any Kryptonian, and Bat Prince with Cyborg Superman. You could pick more than Kryptonian with Diana, but you know. James Yount Jr., Jeff and King Shark, LOL, I like it. Garrett Schnathorst, kind of like Prime Colonel Rhodes and Green Man on a Camelot team. That's cool. Matthew Groenheid, King Jefferson, Time Breakers, and a ranged attacker. Jefferson makes each of the Time Breakers a prob for range attacks. Justin Nichols, Butterfly, and Strife. Ooh, alright. Man of culture. Ben Groenheid, Bat Prince, specifically with the Grayson Bystander and Cyborg Superman. Alejandro Umbria is the notorious Pulp, Harley, and Ivy. That's cool. Matt Prignano, Poison Ivy Iconics, and Man Thing Swamp Thing. I know he played a lot of that at Red, White, and Clix. Let's see. Paul Cote, Camo, and Beetlejuice. Matt Vanderloop is It's Not Modern, but Green Man and Soldier Supreme. That's pretty cool. I'm assuming that's what I'll be seeing in a couple weeks for Past Future. Aaron Morgan, Ares and Giant Reach.
No.
That's too good. Konstantin Savitsky, Green Man, and an attacker you need to get through a tough stop click like Kong. Nick Ballou, not one dimension, but Blackheart and Kong yet, so going with that. Broken and banned, yes, but insane regardless. That's fair. I loved abusing Blackheart when he was the way he was before. Wes Robertson, Black and White Borders. Miles Kane, 4 and 3 at Worlds. Simon Gard, the Lady Mastermind.
Go.
Ryan Harris, Mern plus Hawkeye. And I remember how scary that was. Ugh. Peter Marshfield, Mern plus Jennifer Kale. Joe Gualtieri, Green Man and Deadshot. That's cool. Jason Phillip, Supergirl plus Stop Clicks. Hey Pete, he's speaking your language there.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Peterson, White Tiger Prime and Ares Rare. Mork Berg, Ace plus John Constantine. So your opponent just doesn't get anything. Let's see, Jay Solomon, Jen Walters, and every She-Hulk. Ricky Prignano, Madison, and Wong. That's cool. Let's see. And then lastly, we have Carl Harry Jr. with Kate Bishop and Shadu.
What was yours, Dan?
Let's see. I really liked Ghost Rider and just basically any, like, I was really riding on that train for a while with him and Arachnite. I even rode that into Worlds, so that's probably my favorite combo as of right now.
Okay. Pete, what about you?
Death Metal and Supergirl.
That is a good combo. Miles, do you have one?
Yeah, obviously not. Besides Lady Mastermind and Simon Garth.
You might have another
it's
one.
also, yeah, for Silver I do, and that's Prime Beast Boy and Kong.
And
So I
Raven.
guess more so it'd be Raven and Kong.
And Raven by
yeah,
Fox.
Prime Beast Boy is allowing me to get double it. Yeah, but yeah, Raven, Kong, and Silver.
For me, it was definitely Arachnite and Madam Web leading into Worlds, and currently it's Deadpool and Elsa and Jeff and all the pizza probs on the monsters and all that stuff. So I've been playing quite a bit of that. All right, and then our last one is what would you like to see more of on our YouTube channel in 2025? So Austin Murray, I don't know why he said this, but he said sleeves on Ryan, which I guess we got for Christmas, so there's that.
Hey, you had a
Not,
solid Christmas card picture. That was great.
You know, when you have the body of a supple 3-year-old, you kind of get jealous when you see a man. So I understand why he wants to see sleeves on you.
Christine wanted every year she wants a Christmas picture with us in our Christmas pajamas, so that's what that was.
Yeah, no, I saw the hurt in your eyes, and it was.
It was fine.
I commend you.
It was fine. Then Ethan Davis, team builds and all the tech that Miles tries to hide from the community. Anything on that one, Miles?
I'm pretty sure Miles doesn't hide it. Like,
What the
if
hell
people
is
ask
that?
Miles
Some
to play it.
mid-carder?
Yeah.
Damian
Oh, yeah,
Matthew
from
Birth,
this card?
set piece reviews and
Nothing's
tier lists.
hidden.
What's that?
People just aren't good at finding. I said nothing's hidden. There's just not a lot of good people that are good at finding things.
That's true. It's out there.
Yeah.
Damon
Nothing hidden.
Matthew Birth, set piece reviews and tier lists. That's one thing that we did talk about doing was tier lists, so we should definitely start doing those.
Yeah.
Rob Peterson, do you guys do anything where you travel as a group to other venues to meet other locals? That would be cool. They're actually not that far away from us. It's down in Illinois. We did, where was that? It was a WKO. Dan, you guys were there, right?
Oh, you mean for yeah. Oh, where is that? I don't know where that is. I can picture it, but I don't know where the place is. But I know what you're talking about. There was because it was Captain America and the Avengers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the set, yeah, it was a WKO.
Yeah, there's that. I just know we usually go to Dice Dojo for Illinois, but yeah, we've been there too. So.
No, I think that'd be something cool to do. That would be another thing that I think doing a YouTube video after would be neat. Sean Booty, 300 modern, competitive, and casual matches from your weekly locals. Well, we've started to do a little bit of streaming Bookwood getting crushed. I think that's something that we're looking forward to doing more of. But yeah, we do some live ones, so try to check out the live ones on Monday nights, and then hopefully get some more in here pretty soon here. Konstantin Savitsky, play practice games with meta teams in preparation for states or other tournaments. That's another good idea to try to stream even live. I think would be good for some of those. And then,
I guess that depends on the time of year, right? Because if we're prepping for like say when we get closer to Champion Clix, I'm assuming we could do something like that.
Yeah, especially too, like he's talking about fielding like the meta teams, and maybe because he also mentioned in one of the other ones too about just like gameplay where you're trying to counter build some of the meta stuff. So just team videos where you're maybe have the meta team out, and then you're showing ways to actually counter that. Paul Cote, mini Rebgorn. We're working on that, so stay tuned for a mini Rebgorn.
Oh man, he's got to be so excited for that.
McConnell Lamar, I'm always down to see games with teams we don't see in the high-end meta. I want to definitely start streaming our local things a little bit more too, so definitely check out the live ones Monday nights. Jason Phillip just wants more cowbell. Russ Robertson, more frequent videos. And Illuminati wants nipple. All right.
That could be arranged with cowbell.
I think you threw the last two or two of the last three in there together, Miles.
Yeah, they kind of go together. They're like peanut butter and jelly, cowbells and nipples.
So. All right, that's gonna wrap up this episode, though. Miles, any final thoughts?
No, has been a great year. I found my smile. Dial H HeroClix super fan. So hopefully people have seen like how to hopefully become a super fan so that they can win next year. Just be a good, nice person. Don't copy paste. And you too. Be great to see more people like that.
Dan, final thoughts?
Oh, this year was fun, and it only makes me look forward to next year even more. So.
Absolutely. Pete?
Congratulations to the mayor, Miles Kane, on winning Dial H's Fan of the Year. A well-deserved honor for a guy that is very passionate about this game, and overall just a blast to hang out with. I want to take a moment to thank everybody on the podcast. I was really hesitant to committing to this, but it's been a blast every week. In fact, we've now even started just kind of getting online a couple nights of the week just to talk about, cliX and whatever else is bouncing through our heads at that time. So that's been a really fun thing to do with a very fun group of guys. I am so thankful to the community for supporting this nonsense. And thank you, because without your guys' support, we'd probably still do it because mostly we just do it to entertain ourselves, but it is really nice to have all the positive feedback. And so my best wishes is for everyone to have a safe and happy New Year's.
For sure. Thanks to everyone who tuned in, gave us a chance this year, all the kind words, the messages, and the support. We all look forward to getting online once a week and just talking cliques and putting these episodes together. It's definitely been a learning experience, but I know for myself, I've learned a lot about just like the recording and the editing, and it's been a lot of fun to push myself. It's just been such a great first year. So thanks again to everyone that's listening and checking out what we do. And I think I speak for all of us when we're excited for what's to come. So thanks for listening and see you next year.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya!
Click it!